Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Cannot wait till it's Monday on the Tuesday show with Ted and CJ. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Cannot wait till it's Monday on the Tuesday show with Ted and CJ. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Cannot wait till it's Monday on the Tuesday show with Ted and CJ. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Cannot wait till it's Monday on the Tuesday show with Ted and CJ.
Come on.
And we're live.
We're live.
Hopefully. We are, hopefully.
We are definitely live.
Yeah, do please get in the chat and let us know if we are actually talking to anyone.
I was going to say, are we here? Anyone?
Oh, are we here? I mean, nobody's there. Nobody's watching. But no, we should have had like a ringer out there actually watching the show to tell us if it's working or not.
All right, fair enough. Well, I can see that we are live, and I can even do something like this. It's there we go. I'm terrible that I didn't capitalise that first H on there, but there you go. You should.
Oh, don't worry. I've just completely boomed the thing. I was going to do the same thing. I was going to chat.
Oh, boomer!
There we go.
Good stuff. Oh, there he is. There he is. Hey.
And here we are, finally doing our live stream.
After 6 years.
After 6, yeah. I thought you were going to say after 6 weeks of planning, but actually, yeah. If you went for the total amount, it's about 6 years.
Yeah, after about 6.5 years of doing this show, we're finally live.
Yeah.
On a Friday.
Yes, and we can't take it away.
No.
You can't say or.
Exactly.
Yes, so I can't edit it out.
No, I can hit the old. I can do that if need be.
What's that the Morse code for?
Oh, we're off to a great start, everyone.
Off to a fantastic start. So, how have you been?
Yeah, good. I've been
good.
Quite well. Well, I say good. I've been sick the last few days. Which has really sucked.
Yeah.
It started on like Tuesday afternoon. I mean, I was ropey on Tuesday morning anyway, but it just, I was just coming down, heading downhill on Tuesday afternoon, and it was pretty bad. But yeah, Wednesday, Thursday. Wednesday was really bad. Thursday I was better, but I was just exhausted.
Yeah.
So I was just like, could hardly keep my eyes open. It was just, it was a terrible time. But now I'm fine and I'm here. So much rather skip out on work than the Tuesday show podcast live on a Friday night.
Yeah, absolutely.
How are you?
So I'm fine. Bearing up under the strain of life in general.
Good.
Yeah. I'm just trying to bear up and hang on. I'm just trying to find something.
Oh.
Yeah. Hang on.
Talk amongst yourselves, everybody.
Yes.
I don't know why I looked at the screen here. The camera was right there.
Yes.
Talk amongst yourselves, everybody.
Yes, that's where the people are, over there.
Yes, the people are there. The controls are up there.
Yeah,
and you are over there.
Actually, in reality, we're here, and the people are at home watching TV and watching Love Island or something like that instead.
So, what's the latest in reality TV dross these days? I don't know.
Oh, I know what it is. I know what I have watched by proxy.
Go
on. Poxy, more like. Is what's it called? You turn up. I turn up and marry somebody by accident. Whatever it's called. Married at first sight.
Turn up and marry someone by
Yeah,
accident.
Married at First Sight UK and Married at First Sight Australia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
Have you ever experienced not marriage?
I say
but
marriage at first sight? No, never.
Have you ever experienced the viewing pleasure that is Married at First Sight?
I really haven't. My relationship with reality TV started and ended with season 1 of Big Brother.
Ooh, that's going back a bit.
Because it was terrible. I was like, I'm literally like, I think Billy Connolly said it best. It's like people are sitting in a house watching people sitting in a house.
Yeah.
Like IQ levels are just whoosh, heading through the floor. Just why? That is terrible TV. And then, of course, everyone talks about it for like the next 15 years. And it's, Big Brother's amazing. And they start going on about, they've done it in such a way that they have to bring in these characters, to, mix things up a bit and make it more entertaining. Like, I think there was a famous guy on there with Tourette's or something. Well, he was famous after Big Brother because he had Tourette's. And it was just awful. I don't understand how anybody watches it. And I really fell out of love with reality TV at that very moment when I realised Big Brother was terrible and just don't watch it.
Wouldn't it be rather hard? I mean, having Tourette's is probably less of a problem these days. Not because of the removal of the stigma around it, because of awareness around the condition, but more so the fact that nobody has any kind of decorum anyway.
You're right there.
Just going out in the street and you hear people shouting and swearing and talking to themselves and anybody else who wants to hear and shouting whatever they like. Yeah.
I feel like in life there is a place for cursing and swearing. When I don't have a problem when it's kind of accenting something that's amusing or entertaining. Like you could just be sat there like, I was walking down the street and, a bird just went and flew into my face. Insert curse word at the end. And that kind of emphasizes the hilarity of the situation. I think I have a real problem when people just do it all the time because that's all they really know. And I don't mean to speak badly about people who do, because that's obviously either how they've been brought up or what they feel is appropriate. When it's constant, I just feel like I'm just like, okay, just calm it down a bit. You don't need to add an F-bomb every third word. Yeah. It's just not necessary at this point. You're not adding anything to your story, or you're not adding anything to the conversation. All you're doing is distracting me by the fact you're dropping F-bombs every third word. But I'm not saying that I actually have any problem with people swearing or anything like that. I don't have a problem with swearing on this show. Do you have a problem with swearing on this show?
I don't.
Great, because it's 11 fucking p.m. on a Friday night, and here we are talking to ourselves as we do every week.
Yes. Yes. No, not every week. Only now. Now we do it.
Oh yeah, sorry.
It's not like the Tuesday show is pre-recorded. That's obviously live as well.
That's all. Live.
Yeah. It's never pre-recorded on a Friday evening. Yes. No, I find myself in a quandary now because now we've gone live, and I've got these nuts in my hand. And I'm not entirely sure what to do with them.
I can give you some suggestions, but it's really not appropriate for YouTube.
Well, the thing was, I pulled them out of the bag.
Oh God!
And I've been sort of caressing them ever since. And I'm just gonna pop them.
So just get them in your face. Just
Yeah.
There you
go. Because I feel absolutely determined that I'm going to empty this nutsack by the end of the weekend.
Ted. How long have you been lining that joke up? How long has that been in your head that you were going to say that today on this show?
About 10 minutes since I said it before we started.
Oh, you're a hero. Never change, Ted. Never change. Oh.
Delicious.
Absolutely. I really like nuts.
Yeah, you do.
I love nuts, and I haven't actually had any nuts in my house for a couple of months now because I keep forgetting. I either forget to buy them when I go to the shop,
yeah,
or I just don't have the money to buy them at that particular moment when they are available. And it's getting a bit tedious now. I miss my nuts.
Yeah.
Get in the comments, everybody. What other nut jokes can we use?
We could get into a lot of trouble there.
Yeah, absolutely. I say, get in the comments, everyone. Tell us how many nut jokes you want us to say, and yeah, we'll try our best.
Yeah. And dried fruit as well.
I do like the dried fruit with it as well. Adds a nice bit of fruity chewiness.
Yeah.
To said nuts.
Yeah.
No one likes dry nuts. They got to be moist.
No. What's your favourite dried fruit?
Cranberries.
And why?
Cranberries, because they taste nice.
Okay.
What about you?
I don't know. Actually, almonds, although they're not actually completely dry, because you get them in bags and they're sort of dried but not dried.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's almost a small amount of moisture. I mean, I find that with all nuts, they're not completely dry. They're not a totally dry food. I mean, because they've also got natural oils in them and things like that anyway. So there is usually a bit of moisture in your nuts, which I find delicious.
Yeah. So do you remember the band The Cranberries?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. I was sort of a fan for a while.
I mean, I'll be honest. I can name one tune, Zombie.
Yeah.
That's my. I know I've heard more, but ones that stick in my head is quite clearly Zombie. Yeah. I mean, it's a great song. It really is a great song. I'm pretty sure if you named another track, I'd probably go, "Oh yeah." Can you name another one?
No, I can't, obviously. But talking of great songs, before we go any further, certainly further away from the great song that you will have heard as we came into this show, you were listening to. Well, it doesn't have a name, does it?
I guess we just call it the Tuesday Show.
We'll just call it the Tuesday Show. A fantastic song by none other than Shipper 63, a long time contributor.
Yeah, contributor
to the Tuesday Show.
Yeah, I love Shipper. He's so cool. Because we chatted to him on your other podcast.
Yep.
Didn't we? And that was a really fun time. Just having it was like what 11 p.m. or midnight for us, and it was like. No, I don't think we started that till like 1 a.m., didn't we? Just because it was like 9 a.m. his time, because he's in Australia, and I think we started at like 2 o'clock in the morning. It was mental.
Something really crazy. Yeah.
It was mental. I know we recorded an episode. I think we recorded an episode of the Tuesday Show beforehand, and then we had Shipper in for your other show. That was a great time though. He's a cracking fella. He's a cracking fella.
Yeah, he's a cracking fella. So obviously we cheekily asked him to do us a new jingle for the live stream.
Yep.
And he did it.
He really did.
He really did.
He knocked it out the park as well.
Yeah. I've not learnt it yet. Something like Monday, Tuesday. No, Tuesday,
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, something, Tuesday Show with Ted and CJ.
Yes, available to hear every Friday at around 11 o'clock.
Yeah. Dead on 11 p.m. UK time.
Yeah.
So that could either be GMT or right now British Summer Time.
Yeah.
So just 11 p.m. UK time. It is going to vary throughout the year.
Are you enjoying the summer so far?
Actually, I am. We had a nice bout of good weather last week and at the weekend. That was really nice. And then, it's been raining yesterday and today where I am, which is a bit of a shame. But no, not today. Wednesday, Thursday. So yesterday and Wednesday, it was raining, which was a bit of a shame. It makes it more difficult when I go outside to vape. That I either have to have an umbrella with me or I'm, just get wet.
Yeah,
one of the two. But no, I am enjoying the summer actually. Even though we're not actually in the summer yet, it's still springtime. Summer doesn't start until the end of next month.
Well, yes, I'm wearing shorts.
I'm in shorts and a hoodie.
Yeah,
because I'm that cool.
Oh, literally now?
Yeah, right now I'm wearing shorts and a hoodie.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm in shorts. I'm wearing shorts at the moment. Yes, I'm not going to. I won't do that. But yes, I'm wearing shorts.
As you can see, my flexibility is just on point there. It was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, shorts and hoodie. Don't ask me why. I just decided to put a hoodie on this morning.
Yeah.
Regretted it ever since.
Apart from work clothes, and by work clothes I mean when I actually have to go into an office, wearing shorts is something that I try and adopt as soon as possible.
Yes.
And then I will cling on to those things right up until it's just gone too far. It's too wet. It's too hot. Cold.
I'm the same with hoodies when it comes to the autumn and into winter. It's like as soon as I have an opportunity to put a hoodie on, I'm putting a hoodie on. I love hoodies. They're just warm and cozy, and I just feel very comfortable in a hoodie. But I mean, right now, like today, like I say, it's been actually quite warm today, up to 20 degrees C, which I think is 70 or 69 Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
I've just spent my day sweating, which has not been great. But I was also like, I can't change it. I can't take this hoodie off and put a t-shirt on because it'll mess my hair up, and I'm going live tonight, and I just don't I don't need that hassle. So I'll just deal with the fact that I'm going to sit here and sweat.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. Hence the red face.
Well, yes, indeed. Talking of which, long-term listeners, of which there are 12,
yes,
will be wondering why you are head naked.
Naked?
Yes, being a baseball cap wearing person on the Tuesday show.
Oh, right.
As seen on the Tuesday.
Right, I see. Yeah, so obviously, anybody understanding my brand, if you like, will know that for the longest time I was always a baseball cap wearing person, for being for the creative side of life. I'm not going to say I've outgrown it, but my hair has outgrown my hat.
Oh, okay. So you have literally outgrown it then.
Yeah. Oh, I could still put a hat on if I wanted to. I think right now, I don't know. I'm just more comfortable without right now. I'm quite happy actually doing my hair and trying to look a bit more presentable. But I'll tell you what, for next week, Ted, for you and for the fans, all three of them, I will don a baseball cap again. I don't know. It's not actually a baseball cap. It's I don't know. I know there's a specific definition for baseball cap. I can't tell you what it is right now though. But what I wear is not a baseball cap. It's a flat brimmed, new era 5950 cap, which is
as worn in what sport?
The one I have is for NFL, for American football.
Okay.
Green Bay Packers hats, yeah.
Okay.
But they appear everywhere.
They don't wear caps, do they? They wear helmets.
When they're playing, yes. When they're on the field, yeah. And with good reason, because I can see where you're going with this. You want to start an argument about how wimpy American football is because they wear pads and helmets. No. And I'll say, anyone who's ever watched the game and seen some of the hits that they take, you'll understand why they wear it.
Oh, no, absolutely. If it comes to American football, I mean, the protection that I would have is being in the other state.
Yeah, exactly. Being outside the stadium.
Yes. Yeah, not my game. I don't know. What is my game? What is my game? I don't know.
Cricket.
No.
Rounders.
No. I am going to say no to everything, by the way.
Wiffle ball.
Oh, I do quite like badminton.
Oh, there you go. Badminton, yeah.
But I haven't played that for about 25 years.
Now, you've just given me a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
CJ and Ted play badminton in American football pads and helmet.
Yes.
I feel like there's just some comedy value there.
Yeah, or play American football with badminton rackets. Or
you need a strong racket for that.
Or just go to an American football game and throw in a shuttlecock and see what happens.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you'd have to be pretty close to the sidelines to get a shuttlecock onto the field.
I've never liked either the thought of tennis as a sport or as a spectator sport, or in fact the actual action of playing tennis. Whereas badminton, I do enjoy.
I always preferred badminton when I was in school because it's easier than tennis.
Yeah.
I always found it easier because obviously the shuttlecock does not travel as fast as the tennis ball does, and so there's more reaction time available to you.
Yeah, you got me. That's why. It's just easier.
Yeah, just easier.
I mean, there's a very good chance that I would go for the easiest sport, considering that I've gone for no sport since school.
Because I mean, I consider getting out of bed in the morning a sport because it's it's there's physical exertion. That's part of the definition of sport. Is it competitive? Not really. Well, I guess it is. The competition is if I don't get out of bed, I don't go to work, I then get fired.
Yeah.
So the competition is go to work.
Yeah.
Or get fired. One of the two.
So what would be your sport? Let's say you decided I'm going to do a sport. I'm going to go out every Sunday and get involved in a league of something.
Oh.
What would it be?
A league? Well, I guess golfers have leagues. There's there's PGA and so it would be golf.
Oh yes, of course it's golf. We played golf.
So we have played golf together, yeah.
Of a fashion.
We have played searching for a ball in the brush for 2 miles.
we have stood in a field.
Yep.
Yes. No. Yeah, that was a long time ago. Actually, we played golf.
It was a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was wearing quite a garish. Was I wearing a? Yes, but I was wearing some sort of pink polo shirt that was very pink, particularly in the photographs.
You know what, Ted? I might have a photo of it kicking around somewhere if you'd like me to try and find it.
Yeah, you try and find that.
All right. I know it's going to be on Facebook, and that's all I'm going to know.
Yeah,
yeah.
But also, I do know that one of our mutual friends, Mr. Romanek.
Romanek, yep.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was wearing something even more disgusting.
I think at that time he was wearing, it was like grey on the top, white on the bottom with a bright green stripe through the middle, if I remember correct. Not that I really pay attention to people's fashion that much, but
no.
It's this might take a while, by the way. Just,
okay.
Looking for a photo of the 3 of us golfing. Because there was another one with another mutual friend, our train driver friend. He was out as well.
Yes.
And my buddy Simon, I think he came with us. There was a time where there was like 5 of us that descended on Corby Golf Course.
Yeah.
That was a fun time. I did enjoy that time there actually.
The thing I find about golf, and it always surprises me, and even though I'm saying this, it would surprise me again, I'm sure, is how long it actually bloody takes.
Yeah. It's the time it takes to walk 2 miles. That's the crazy. Actually, how far? I don't think I'm going to find these photos. It's going to be so far back, and I don't know how Facebook works anymore. I just don't know. I don't know how it works. Because I'm pretty sure that all these photos that I'm looking at are ones that I've posted, but I know there was one where I think it was Romanik who posted it and just tagged us in it.
Right. Okay.
It actually popped up on a memory the other week as well, and I was
happens,
like, I was like, oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to find it, but yeah. So I actually went out for a round a couple of weeks ago. Graciously paid for by the company.
Yeah.
And it was fun.
Lovely. By the company. Was it in Scotland? Because you go there sometimes.
It wasn't in Scotland, no, although I am very tempted at some point to try and get around in Scotland while I'm up there. So my company, I think I've said this before on the pre-record show, that we have a country estate in Scotland. And there was like a load of talk about what to do with the land, to make it kind of like a centre for sustainability type thing. And I just said, well, can someone put in a 9-hole golf course, please? Because that would be amazing if I can bring my golf clubs up there and just go out for 9 holes at 6 o'clock in the morning. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Drag a few people with me. That would be... Yeah, right. Was it that one? Oh, yeah, there we go. May 1st. Here we go. Golf. So just over 4 hours playing golf, and no more details. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Map, show more. Oh, that's annoying. I'm sure it showed me how far I walked that day, but it was like 4 hours, and it was something crazy. It was like basically 1 mile an hour.
Yeah.
When you take into account that you're stood still for a couple of minutes each time you take a stroke, and it was not that kind of stroke. So I was trying to catch that before you did. And
Too late.
Yeah. But yeah, it was. I remember looking at it, going 4 hours to walk, and I think it was about 4 miles.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's not very far over a very long time.
No. But a very long time.
But a very long time.
Yeah.
4 hours.
I don't know why it comes as such a surprise. See, 4 hours is a very long time to be doing anything. A game of I don't know, how long does a game of tennis last? Or a match? Oh, a match can be a few hours, can't it? Depending on.
I've never stopped to watch tennis. I've never stopped to watch it, and weirdly, I've never actually stopped to watch golf either.
No.
I enjoy playing golf. I have never actually stopped to watch golf itself, and just enjoy watching a game. That's just not something I'm really interested in. But it's like, I love watching American football. I know I'm never going to play American football. Even if I try to join a league in the UK or a team in the UK, I'm just like, I'm looking at it going, I feel like I just have a cardiac event within 10 minutes.
Oh, before that. Well, especially with all the kit on, I can imagine you just about getting onto the field and then
just trying to stand
collapsing. Yeah,
just trying to stand up with a big freaking helmet on my head, just like, like gravity. Anyway, what sport would you play? I know you said you play badminton, but if you could choose any sport to play.
Well, I've got the physique for darts. I suppose the previous experience with badminton, albeit that was a long time ago. And the aptitude for very little else.
Okay.
So, actually, what about snooker? Snooker's a sport of sorts.
Snooker is a sport. Pool is a sport. Yeah. I'm more of a pool player than I am snooker.
Yeah.
Mainly because I've never really understood snooker itself.
Yeah. It's quite straightforward.
I mean,
it's not. It's about remembering which balls are worth more than other balls.
Yep. And then when you get to the end, what order to shoot the balls in?
Yeah.
When you get to the different colours that aren't red.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Oh, yes, and then you've got to remember how much each ball is worth.
Yeah.
Because you have to keep score.
Yeah.
It's not as simple as, well, let's see how many balls we've got at the end of the game.
Yeah.
I know nothing about billiards.
Nope.
There's so many different variations, and I wouldn't even keep up with those. It's hard enough as snooker.
It's true.
Yeah.
I think that's why a lot of people prefer pool. It's very straightforward. It's you're either stripes or solids, and whoever gets all their balls into the pocket first wins. Unless you pot the black, then you lose.
Yeah.
But there's also less tactical plays like there is in snooker.
Yeah.
Snooker, if you don't see, because you don't keep going, do you? If you pocket a ball in snooker, or do you? I don't remember. You do. Yeah. Okay, so maybe there's this thing like if you don't have
can't.
Unless there is actually nowhere for you to shoot a ball or pocket, you don't have a clear shot, then you end up playing where the cue ball ends up very close to a red or a colour to stop the other person from making a good shot or something.
Yeah, so if you're not going to get the next shot, then you make a shot that's going to snooker your opponent.
Yep.
And make them foul, because then if they foul, once everybody's cleared up, you can then go back in and have a better opportunity.
Yeah. Well, once someone's come in with a little bag over their hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's yeah. No, I quite enjoyed playing pool when I had played pool.
Did I ever tell you the story like so when I was in school, like year 11 into sixth form, there was a snooker club in the town, or a pool club, I should say, in the town, where you could go in and pay £10, unlimited pool, just play for as long as you want. And like you could buy pitchers of beer for like £3 or £5 or whatever it was. It was cheap. This was
no beer, just a picture of it.
Yeah, just a picture. No,
yeah,
no
there you go, son. There's a picture now. Bugger up.
You could get pitchers of beer for really cheap. You could play pool for as long as you wanted for a tenner. You know, and the number of times, like on a Friday afternoon, you know, my friends and I would finish school, we'd go into town, and we'd just go hang out at the pool hall for 6, 12 hours at a time. Just paid a tenner. That was it. They never said anything like, "Oh, that takes you up to midnight, and then you have to pay again." It was just no, just as long as you want, as long as you are sat, as long as you are on that table, as long as you don't leave that table, or your group doesn't leave that table, that is your table for as long as you want it for a tenner. Yeah, but like I said, and then you pay a five. I think it was £3 or £5 for a pitcher of beer. It really wasn't a lot of money. And I'm like, and I remember at the time even thinking, how do these people make money? You know, because the drinks aren't that expensive.
Yeah.
People do, and people were coming in and spending all night in this pool club. You know, just pay a tenner, and it was crazy. I mean, I think there was a membership fee at one point. They did introduce a membership fee, and it was like, but again, it's like once a year, pay a £5, you're a member. You know, so if I play,
yeah, I seem to remember in early years we were members of a snooker club. People from school and whatnot.
Yeah.
Seemed like a good thing to do at the time. Be a member of the. But then I think what we often did was look to places like snooker clubs, sort of places a bit out of the way, who are more likely to serve alcohol to somebody who's 15.
Yeah.
Or thereabouts, and you know, it's an opportunity or way in which to go and have a beer.
I tell you, that was a different time as well, wasn't it? You could go into a pub or a club or a snooker club, pool club, and they didn't care that you were 16 years old.
Yeah,
it's like, can I have a picture of a beer? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
you know, even when I was smoking, when I first started smoking, I'd walk into. So I had to go through the town centre to get to my school. So I'd go from home, you know, down a big hill into town, back up another hill to get to school. On the way through, I would stop at a corner shop and buy cigarettes in my school uniform. Never questioned, never carded, nothing. And I was like, yeah, this probably shouldn't be happening, but I made a fortune though, selling cigarettes to the kids in school. Oh, buy a cigarette from you. And that they didn't say cigarette; they said the other word, which you know is not really politically correct.
Yes, our American viewers would.
It's not even that. I just don't like the word anyway. I've never understood why that's a word for cigarette. Just say cigarette. You know, it's like when people go, "Oh, ciggies. I love a ciggy." What's a ciggy? It's a cigarette, okay? Yeah. But yeah, you know, people come up to me and say, "Oh, buy a cigarette from you for £1." I'm like, okay. Considering a 20-pack of cigarettes cost less than a £5 at this point.
Yeah.
You know, they were very cheap, and you know, by today's standards. And it just baffled me. People were like, "Oh, buy a cigarette from you for £1." I'm like, add another £1 to that. Go to the shop and buy 10. You know, you can buy 10 Richmond Super Kings for £2 or £1.99. Don't buy it. After a while, I'm sitting there going, "Why are you all buying from me? Just because I can get them?" You know, you're all afraid you're going to get arrested. Is that what's going on here? Worst that's going to happen is the shopkeeper's going to say, "No, you're underage. I'm not selling it to you." They're not going to be like, "Oh, right, come into the back room. I'm going to sit you down on this chair and call the police." You know, no, that's not how it worked. Yeah. Unless you're shoplifting, maybe that's what would happen. But you know, you're not. You're just asking to buy cigarettes. You know, the worst that would ever happen is they'd say no. Away you go. Job done.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not. But then back in the day, you talk about going in a school uniform, but back in the day it was 16, not 18.
True. Yeah.
So it could be a little bit borderline, couldn't it? Because you could be in school uniform and be 16.
But even then, surely the shopkeeper would be like, hold on a minute, you've been coming in here for 2 years and you're still wearing a school uniform. Like
Yeah.
it's for our non-UK viewers or non-UK audience, the legal smoking age at that time was 16 years old, and you wore a school uniform up until you were 16. Or when you left school after your 16th birthday, you then stopped wearing a school uniform. Even if you stayed in full-time education, you didn't wear a uniform. In general, it's kind of general terms.
But it depends. Depends on the school, because
Well,
some
that's it.
schools, if a school's got sixth form and they continue with the uniform, then you could be in uniform until you're 18.
Well, that's it. That's what I mean. Some schools did that. The majority, certainly by the time I was finishing school and going into sixth form, it was generally accepted that sixth formers didn't wear the school uniform.
Yeah.
They were treated as adults at that point, and were allowed to wear whatever they want, which gave rise to many different styles and things that people wore. But yeah, like even then, like as a shopkeeper, knowing this information, you just be like, you've been coming in here for like 2 years buying cigarettes, and you're still wearing your school uniform. At what point do they just go, so how old are you?
I don't know. Have we reached that point? Are you still to this day going and buying cigarettes in your school uniform?
I mean, yes, I got a school uniform purposely just to walk in with my big greying beard. To buy cigarettes just to see what happens. I feel like there's another comedy episode there for us as well. CJ and Ted go to the shop in school uniforms to buy cigarettes.
Yeah, that'd be too weird.
Really?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay.
Yeah, too weird.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, apart from anything else, I mean, do you really want it on your hard drive? The fact that you even try to look online for school uniforms that would fit, a 30-year-old.
This is why web browsers gave us in private browsing, so it doesn't then save that history.
Right.
I'd do it for the memes. I'd absolutely do it for the memes.
But yes, it's certainly a different time, and also American viewers and listeners would be slightly amazed to know that we might be doing sorts of things like that when we're 15 or 16, considering they've got a drinking age of 21. I think I don't know if it's across the board or most states or whatever it may be. I'm
pretty sure it's all states are 21. I think that's a federal legal drinking age. I might be wrong, but if there are any American viewers out there or any American audience, please get in the comments and let us know.
Whereas it blows our tiny minds that they have 16 as the age for driving.
Mm-hmm.
But then, where can you go in the States without having a car?
Well, that's it.
Some places are just not designed for walking down the street.
That's very true. I remember visiting the US, nearly 11 years ago now, into northeastern Maine, and I had to take the car from my hotel about 100 meters down. Sorry, US 100 yards down the road to the Burger King to get food because there was no footpath, there was no sidewalk. And I was terrified that if I did walk, somebody would have a go at me for walking either on the grass or on the side of the road. So I was just like, I'm just going to take the car from here to like right over there, which I could probably throw a stone to, literally within a stone's throw, because I don't want to get in trouble with the law, or in trouble with anybody. Because I had no idea at this point. I had no idea what the laws were. About like jaywalking or anything like that. I was just like, I'm just not going to risk it. I'm just going to take the car. What a tremendous good use of fuel.
Yes. Which is dramatically cheaper than it is here.
Yeah, but you also have to consider, as you said, the other states is big. And I think somebody worked it out on average. US drivers do more miles than we do in the UK, which gives rise to, well, it's the whole supply and demand question, isn't it? There was a lot of demand, good enough supply, so the prices can be lower. Whereas the government also likes to tax the crap out of our fuel.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it's like 40, is it 40 or 50% of our fuel cost is tax?
Oh, good God. I mean, it's something ridiculous, isn't it? Because it's taxed. We're paying duty on it. Then we pay tax. including tax on the duty.
Yep.
Yeah, and paying with money that's already been taxed.
Yes. Yeah. That's the crazy part of all of it, isn't it? Anyway, I don't think we should maybe really touch on politics and tax.
No, don't get me started on tax. I mean, the whole bloody thing is. I mean, it's just theft, isn't it?
Yes, but I really don't think we should talk about it.
No, okay, all right. All right, I'm going to shut up then.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about tax.
I agree with you. Taxation is theft. I'm 100% with you. And it is astounding. Okay, we're going to talk about it. Whatever. It's astounding how much we, as in the world, it's not just a UK thing. This is across the world. How much people are taxed for things. You know. Okay, I get paid my salary. You're going to take 20% of my salary away in tax. Maybe more if you earn over a certain amount, and then more again if you earn even more. Then you're going to tax me on everything that I buy, 20%, called value-added tax. And then you're going to tax me for the home that I live in. You're going to take money off of me just for the privilege of having a roof over my head. And just taxes everywhere, and it's awful. And I'm pretty sure stealth taxes still exist as well. Like the whole VAT thing, I can't remember, was it Gordon Brown that brought in the lower VAT rate? So he took it from 17.5% down to 15%.
Yeah.
He was like, this will help the British economy. This will encourage people to go out and spend money. It really didn't.
Well, no, but I mean, in theory, that's the way it should be. But the thing is, if you take it down 2.5%, that doesn't make an awful lot of difference when it comes to the average people. Because average people aren't spending. If they're not spending the money, then it's not going back into the system.
Nope.
Because they don't really see the benefit. If they said, okay, what we're going to do, we're going to reduce VAT from 20% down to 0%, then people might be spending a bit more.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that would have a massive effect on the economy, which would mean more taxes to be able to collect elsewhere.
The only people that benefited from the 15% VAT rate were the retailers, were the people selling products, because they paid less VAT to the government. They could keep that extra 2.5% for themselves.
Yeah.
Because did you know? Because I don't know about you, but I didn't notice a single price drop when the VAT went down.
Well, I've never noticed a price drop ever
at
all in my life. Nothing ever goes down, does it?
Sometimes there are extenuating circumstances or extreme cases where it does, and the one I'm going to throw out is fuel during COVID. Fuel went down to under £1 a litre. I think it was down to 86p was the cheapest I saw it during COVID.
Really? Well, I mean, it could do, couldn't it? Because let's face it, nobody's buying it.
No one was buying. Supply and demand.
Yeah.
There was a lot of supply and no demand, so prices came crashing back down. But then as soon as kind of COVID was over and everyone was over it and travelling again, it rocketed up to £2 a litre in some places. And we're still not back down to pre-COVID rates. I mean, well, I think, my local garage, I'm paying £1.73 per litre for petrol.
Right.
So that's it's not even diesel, that's petrol.
Yeah.
It's quite expensive. So, but I use it because it's convenient, because it is literally 2 minutes around the corner. So when I'm coming home from work, that is the place to fill up, before I get home. But it's taxed so heavily. Cigarettes are taxed really heavily now. I mean, that's probably a good thing. Oddly enough, alcohol is not taxed anywhere near as much, which is a bad thing.
No, that's right. Yes, and probably cause a lot more destruction and ill health and any other things, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think this is it's all by design though, because you've got driving. It's all these things that are supposedly bad for you. So we're being fed the fact that using fossil fuels is bad for you, or it's bad for the planet. As long as we're doing it. I mean, other corners of the world, if they're doing it, that's fine because they're developing. But somehow, because we're just trying to exist as we have done, even though we do things a lot cleaner than we ever have done.
Yeah.
We're still penalised. So fossil fuels are bad, and what was the other thing? Smoking is bad. So we get extra tax, and then we got the sugar tax.
Oh, the sugar tax. Yes, I forgot about that.
And has that stopped
Nope.
anybody eating sugar?
Nope.
And why would it?
It won't. But this is the thing. The government goes, oh, we're going to put on, what was it? Is it 2%? Or 5%?
Hang on. Whilst we're on it, bloody bag tax.
Oh, the bag tax, yeah.
Now, if I go to a shop and I haven't got a bag with me, and why would I? Because I'm a man. Why would I have a bag on me? For goodness sake.
I mean, I take
So
bags. To the shop.
every time, I stand by my comment.
Okay.
Every time I go to a shop, it's going to cost me something like 40 pence or something for a bag.
Oh.
They get the bag out. It's made of fucking paper.
Yeah.
What was that all about?
The bag tax was such a con. It was just like the government going, we need to reduce the amount of plastic waste. So we're now going to introduce a bag tax, and every retailer now has to charge. At the time, it was like 5p for a bag.
Yeah.
The thing with that is, once again, did it stop people from no. I've gone and done my monthly shop. I maybe need 10 bags. All right, you've just charged me 50p. Big whoop.
Mm.
What's 50p and when I've just spent £250 on my monthly shop or whatever it is, 50p is nothing. So then they start putting the prices up slowly. And now, like you say, I go to my local Tesco, other brands are available, and they charge 30p for a reusable bag. And I'll be honest, you get one cut in that bag, it does fall apart very quickly.
Yeah.
They call them bags for life, and you can now, but I guess the good thing is you can go in and swap them out. You can say, hey, this bag is damaged, and they'll give you another one. But they also rely on the fact, or they know that idiots like me and people in general who just don't want to carry bags will go in with either not enough bags or no bags at all, and will have to buy another bag.
Yeah.
Now your 10 bags that you need is no longer 50p, it's now £3.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then you suddenly go, oh, £3.
I've got so many bloody bags now. So many bags. It's ridiculous. I've got bags. Well, not bags with bags, because that really annoys me. When people put bags inside bags, but then they put bags inside bags inside bags. It's like you just want one bag, and then you get a bag, and it's like, oh, it's got another bag inside, and then that's got a bag inside. So I will take the bags that I end up having to buy, bloody 40 pence or 30 pence or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So I fold it very carefully and I put it away, but I put it away. And every time I do that, I notice that there's a whole load of other bags.
Yeah.
And I have like a box full of these bags. So I'm cramming them in. But it's a one-way thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never taking the bags out. And then if I looked in there, it would be really dispiriting, because I look at it and think, oh my God, how many times 30 or 40 pence have I got in bags? I've got I've got more plastic. I've got more money in plastic bags than Bitcoin. What the hell is going on?
Yeah.
And I will never. And I've tried it, but how long does a like a resolution last? How do I get a bag, or how do I ever get rid of all of those? Because I'm never going to think to myself, oh, I'm going out. I might go to the shop. I might go to the shop. I'll take a bag with me. I'll never do it.
I can give you a small hint around how to combat this problem, and it's what I do. So in my kitchen, on the back of the kitchen door, there's a hook with a tote bag. One of these, it's fashionable for marketing people to make tote bags with their business logo on. So I've got one from work, which is full of neatly folded bags for life from Tesco. So I've got a local shop about 5-minute walk from my house. Whenever I go there, I literally just reach in and grab a bag out and put it in my pocket. It's just it's become a bit of a habit for me to do that now. However, in the back of my car, because like you'll be like, I might just be in the car and I might stop by a shop. So in the boot of my car is 2 neatly folded bags for life, and they literally live in a pocket in the back of the car. So if I ever find myself at a shop, I can go, I've got a couple of bags.
Yeah. Do you think I don't have empty carry bags in my car?
I don't know what you have in your car. It's been a while since I've seen the inside of your car.
But even if I go I'll go into the shop, and why would I wouldn't remember to pick up a bag because it's not one of the three things.
Okay, no, fair enough.
It's not my wallet. It's not my phone. It's not my vape.
Yeah, it's not the
So
keys
why
either.
would I have it? Why would I have it with me? I mean, I barely remember my trousers, let alone a plastic bag.
I was gonna say how many times have you left your vape pen in the car accidentally? Because I've done it so many times where I've arrived home and I've just forgotten to pick up my vape pen out of the car and I've just walked in the house and gone.
Is the charger.
Right. Okay.
Leaving the charger behind, because that's a fresh kind of hell.
See now.
Because yeah, and I do have a spare charger, but then I have a charger, and then I'm using a battery, and then I'd have to take that battery off, then charge it, and then I'm waiting around for it to charge. And it's all psychological. I mean, I could go as long as it takes to fully charge a battery, but yeah, I don't like that feeling.
Right. I mean, maybe this is my millennial entitlement and things like that, but I tend to have spares of everything. So, like, I've got a charging cable on my desk here right now for charging my vape pen while it's here, but I also have the same cable in my car, just in the glove compartment. Yeah. And as and when I need it, I take it out, plug it in, and away we go. I also have a spare battery for my vape. So if I know I'm on a long journey, again, as the aforementioned traveling to Scotland for work, that journey will drain the battery on my vape quite significantly. So what I tend to do is when I've stopped halfway through my journey, I'll actually swap the batteries over. So I'll put a fresh battery onto my vape and then put the other one on to charge while I'm driving.
Oh no, I've got that. I've got that. I've got a spare battery. There's one off, well, one on, one in the wash. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
yeah. But the problem is, if I leave it behind, if I leave it somewhere, then I'm screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even if I've got another charge, I need another battery. But anyway, that's really not the point. The point is bags. But something you said made me think.
Yeah.
Tote bags. Yes, they're fashionable. Yes, they're useful for branding purposes. I'm thinking the Tuesday show.
You want to make Tuesday show totes?
Yeah.
That's a totes amazing idea.
Wow. Yeah. So there we go. We even right here now. I don't know if anybody's bothered to watch our first live stream, but even now, if they have, they've stumbled upon the moment when a great idea was hatched.
Tuesday show merch item number 1 shall be the tote bag.
Yeah. Even if it's just us that buy them, because I'm thinking that would be the ideal thing, wouldn't it?
Ted, I'm going to buy one and put it over there. I'm going to hang it on one of these things that's on the shelf, just so it's in plain view all the time. And then if we get monetized, it becomes a tax break.
Fantastic. get a tax break on a tote bag.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, that's all your financial dreams answered, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, there you go. The TTSTB, the Tuesday show tote bag.
Yeah. No, I really like that idea. And the thing is, I'd probably be more likely to carry it around. Because in my little head, I'd be thinking to myself, well, it's free advertising.
Yeah, there is that.
I'd take it everywhere I go.
But I also think to myself, and I'm not trying to poo-poo the idea. I'm not saying that it's a bad idea. But I also think about every time I've been to a show or somewhere where someone has given me some merch, a tote bag, for example. I was like, I have one from work. I have one from an event that I went to around cybersecurity and something, and I got a nice navy blue, which is a lovely color, tote bag with the company's logo on it.
Yeah.
But then I also walk around, when I'm out and about, and I go, how many people are carrying tote bags? Very, very few. There are people that have them, and there are people that have bought specific designs because they like them, and it's an extension of their style, and all of that gubbins, or gumph, I should say. But I'm also like, no one really uses them.
Mm.
So the advertising power of the tote bag, I feel, is very limited to the event that you are at that time. Because you might get the tote bag with some swag in it, which is great, and you might walk around the venue holding said tote bag, and you might leave the venue holding said tote bag, but then it goes in the car, you get home, it gets shoved in a corner. It gets folded up nice and neat, and then put in your other tote bag with your other bags. And forgotten about for the rest of your life.
No, you're right. I'm just trying to think of what kind of merch that you get for free at those sorts of events that you actually hang on to or use.
Mugs and pens. Mugs, pens, coasters.
Oh, mugs. So many bloody mugs.
But that's the other part of it as well. It's like a number of events I've been to, and someone's been like, "Oh, do you want a mug?" I'm like, "I have too many mugs already. Thank you, though. I'm good." I did go through a phase of trying to collect mugs from like every workplace I was ever at. So, like my first job and every job, every place I've been to, even if I was visiting, I'd be like, "Can I swipe a mug?"
Yeah.
But in the end, I mean, I was living in my flat at that time, and I just remember looking in the cupboard and going, "I've got like 50 mugs in here. This is crazy. I don't need this many mugs." And I actually went through and just binned them all because I never use them. It's me on my own. I use one mug.
Yeah. I barely use a mug, to be honest with you.
I was gonna say, I'm not using a mug right now.
No, me neither.
I've got a bottle of pop, Coca-Cola or Diet Coke or whatever.
When it comes to hot drinks, if I'm having a cup of tea, I quite like a tea. I like a cup and saucer. Much more.
Say you're a teacup kind of guy.
Over a mug.
Mm.
The main purpose of a mug really is, like, the only one I've got in here is and it's for putting pens and bits and pieces in.
And that's it. People put pens in them. That is a great use, especially for the workplace. If you don't want to spend money on a pen holder, go to an event, steal one of their mugs, and use that mug as a pen holder.
Mm.
And that is great free advertising for that business that has gone to the trouble of, having mugs produced. Like I say, pens are the other one. I don't think I've got one in my pen pot here, no. But in my office, I have a pen with my company's logo on it. And it's one of them that you give them out at events, and people go, because actually pens are really useful.
Mm.
I've got a coaster. I've got a company coaster.
I mean, pens can be useful, but generally speaking, I like a particular pen.
Me too.
Yeah.
My nice Parker pen.
Oh, nice Parker pen.
Yeah.
I like these, the gel pens, the whatever they're called.
Yeah,
I can't read that. Uniball. Yes. Uniball Air.
Ones like these with a nice rubber grip on them. They're quite chunky.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing with pens, and please, any businesses that's listening or watching this, pay attention. Pay attention. Stop giving me twisty bottom pens. I want clicky tops.
Right.
Clicky top pens. That's where it's at. I hate twisty bottom pens. I hate them.
Well, two things to say. One is, if anybody's making a decision about buying pens for a business or for anything for that matter, make sure they get black pens. Yes. I don't want to be writing with blue ink.
I like blue. Blue's my favorite color, but when it comes to writing stuff, it should be black ink.
Oh yeah, no, I like the color blue, but black ink. That why would you why I don't know why they make them. Why for some reason is the cheap pens that you get for promotions, they're always bloody blue.
Yeah, no, I agree. How many times, and I can tell you the number of times this has happened to me. How many times, Ted, have you filled out an official form or document in blue ink and then gone back to read the start and gone, it said black?
Yeah. How many times? Let me think. All the times.
Yeah, every time.
Mm.
Fortunately, the majority of where I've then submitted said form, it's been okay. They've gone, that's fine, don't worry about it. Once I had it rejected,
Mm.
and that was from a doctor's surgery. And they said, you didn't write it in black ink. And I'm like, you're a doctor's surgery. You're not MI5. You know, it doesn't matter. Just.
And I bet you £1 to a pinch of shit that if you asked to borrow a pen from their reception,
It's blue.
they'd give you a bloody blue one,
Yep,
wouldn't they?
Blue. 100%.
Because it's free, because it was given to them by a drugs rep.
Yep.
But yeah. So two things, right? So first of all, it should be black ink. Secondly, whilst I understand what you mean about the whole twisty thing, the slight problem with that is if you've got the clicky one, you end up having people clicking, and even yourself clicking. See, if I had a clicky pen here, which I don't have actually, no, I've got a twisty one. Oh no, it's the lifty offy one. But if I had a clicky one and I was using it, which I wouldn't be doing, there's a temptation that I'd be clicking. And if I was clicking, it would come out on the microphone.
That's true.
And if you've got a room full of people holding pens, and they're all clicky pens,
yeah,
it'll drive you bananas.
That is the downside, and there have been occasions where I've just wanted to go and break people's fingers so they can't click the pen anymore. There's a lot of things like that happen in the workplace. Not so much now, because fortunately I work from home and it's not really that big of a deal anymore. But yeah, when I used to frequent offices, yeah, clicky pens. What else was there? I can't remember. Snorting. Oh my god, snorting.
Okay.
No, and I don't want to do it because it does gross me out. Not many things gross me out, but it's clearly someone needs to blow their nose.
Yeah.
But they're not blowing their nose. They're just sniffing, and then they sniff so hard that it makes that horrible vibration. Ugh! Just go blow your nose, please.
I've noticed, and I think this might be a gendered thing, but you could tell me whether I'm right about this or not. I've noticed that there's an aversion from some people, the type that wear dresses, against
Scottish people.
Yes, that's the ones. I found that women tend to have an issue when it comes to handkerchiefs.
Okay.
And they seem to think that that's unhygienic. Whereas, and they would much rather, what?
No, carry on.
And they're more into the idea of having tissues. I maintain that, well, first of all, they're more likely to carry tissues anyway because they can carry whatever they like because they've got a bloody bag to fill up with rubbish.
Yeah.
They have tissues for all sorts of different things. But I think a handkerchief is a much better option because then if everybody has a handkerchief in their pocket, it gets rid of the whole sniffing issue because men don't walk around with tissues. But if they have a handkerchief, then we've solved the problem.
I feel I agree to a degree.
Interesting.
I'm kind of using my own personal. I mean, I think nowadays, again, not that I've really paid attention to this in recent years, but I don't really see many people carrying handkerchiefs anyway. But I genuinely believe the handkerchief is more sustainable than tissues.
Oh, that's the other. Yeah, that's a good point. Actually.
Yeah, they are much more sustainable than tissues. It's like disposable nappies or diapers if you prefer. But just disposable nappies are terrible for the environment because you can't recycle them. They just go to landfill. And there's just nothing that happens with it. Whereas reusables, you just throw them in the wash.
Yeah. Well,
because you're washing your clothes anyway, so what does it matter?
Well, look, neither of us are scientists, but it's not going to stop us from discussing this.
No.
Not by a long chalk. But I think possibly with the disposable nappies, they could be made to be quite what's the word?
Biodegradable.
Biodegradable.
Yeah, maybe they are to a degree.
Maybe they
I'm
are.
sure.
Who
Have a
knows?
look.
We don't know. We're not experts, but we're just going to talk about it anyway. Why not? And the reusable nappies.
hmm
Actually, you've got to consider how much energy and how much water is being used.
Yep.
And chemicals being used to clean them.
hmm
So you have to factor that in when it comes to the environmental impact.
The thing is, you're washing your clothes anyway.
Yeah, but not full of shit.
Well, no, but you're not putting a nappy full of shit into the washing machine. What you're actually doing is a reusable nappy. You put a liner in there, which is flushable, where all the hopefully things get caught up, and that's when you're cleaning. You basically pick that and you just drop it into the toilet, and you can flush it, and then it gets.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it gets recycled then through the.
I had no reason to know that. So
Okay.
Didn't know.
I only know that because my sibling, when they were a baby, that's how they. Disposable nappies weren't a thing in my house when my sibling came along.
Okay.
I think that was more my stepdad just liking to be old school. And yeah, very much was like, no, we'll just use reusable ones. But yeah, you'd literally just flush these things down the toilet, and then your reusable washable nappy goes in the washing machine, generally shit free.
Okay.
And it's like you're washing the rest of your clothes anyway, so in terms of environmental impacts and chemical use and chemical waste and all this kind of stuff, it actually made no difference.
Oh, fair enough. I'm talking nonsense then.
Yeah.
No, I was envisaging this bit of flannel.
Nuclear flannel.
You're having to scrape at it with some, with an old spoon. But
I mean, maybe that's
as you've described it. Yeah, I suppose because
maybe that's what happened
how is it
100 years ago.
a disposable liner though? Because even like you can get disposable, flushable rather, flushable. You can get flushable, soft
Wet wipes.
Yes, that's the thing. I was going to say toilet paper, but obviously toilet paper is all flushable, unless you're in Greece, weirdly. But anyway, if you have that stuff, surely it would go through. So it's got to be tough enough to form a barrier, but yet soft enough to disintegrate in the loo.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's not about disintegration in the loo. It's about how it's then processed at the wastewater treatment plant. Same as everything else. Everything gets filtered out. All the crap gets filtered out, and toilet paper or the paper side of things gets recycled from there as well. And I guess that it all just kind of gets caught up in that and recycled that way. And also, just as a point of reference, dear audience, just check with your local council whether flushable wipes and flushable nappy liners are actually allowed in your area. Because if you have a wastewater pumping station, chances are they're not allowed because they clog up the pumps.
Oh, right. I thought that's what they always did.
No.
Wastewater.
Well, depending on where you are. So, I live on a hill.
Right.
So my wastewater will be gravity fed to the wastewater treatment plant.
Right.
But it's it's like, so if you live at the bottom of a hill, the chances are you have a wastewater pump that is pumping it up. But again, if you live higher up, maybe there's a system of just the back pressure from the pump is just pushing your waste up anyway. Maybe, I don't know.
So hang on. So it's just about whether there's a pump.
Just whether you have if you have like a little. So in one of the places I used to live with my old housemate, literally just across the way was a wastewater pumping station. Very small. It's literally designed just for those residents. It's not a major. When it gets to the big pumps, like your regional or your town, whatever, they're fine. They're bigger and they're designed to handle more.
Right.
But your little local one, that sits next to someone's house, unfortunately, and they're the lucky ones that get all the clogging issues. Yeah, like flushable wipes and things like that tend to clog up those pumps.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's all down to the size of your wastewater pump, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure mine's gravity fed. Like I say, I live on a hill, and I'm pretty sure my waste treatment plant is down the hill somewhere.
See, these are the vital conversations that you will not get elsewhere.
In no other show will you find out this information, apart from the Tuesday show.
And you know what? The funny thing is, you'll listen to it and think, okay, I have half an idea. We could be completely wrong.
We could be totally wrong.
Because there is no research. There is no background knowledge. There's barely any education involved.
I was like, there's only life experience being thrown out here. Like I say, I'm giving you my experiences of living in an area that had a small waste pumping station.
Yeah.
And that was it. That's my only. But I knew because our neighbours who were like right next to it regularly had clogging and flow issues, and therefore odour issues in their houses because these pumps would get clogged. Which just led me to think, I'm so glad I don't live in one of those houses.
Yeah.
Because that would make me want to move very quickly. I'll put up with a lot of things. That I would not put up with. But again, call that my millennial entitlement. I would absolutely not put up with that. And the thing is, it was a new build estate as well. So the house had only been there for a couple of years at the time I moved into the area. And you kind of think, surely somebody thought about this? Nope.
Do you know what? I constantly think surely somebody could have foreseen this or dealt with this better or done this properly. But people don't.
Nope.
And I do think this comes with age. You look around and you realise that whilst you thought in younger years, you thought, well, somebody out there knows what they're doing.
Hopefully.
But they don't.
No.
They really don't. Because especially when you get to the point where you're a similar age or the same age or older than the Prime Minister or something.
Mm-hmm.
You think, my God, they're just idiots. They're just like us.
Yeah.
and then you know people. You know people who might be scientists or lawyers or doctors and things like that. And because you know them, you also know when they've said something completely bloody stupid.
That's like you just go, are you fucking kidding me right now?
Yeah.
It happens so often. Or somebody else, and you're just like, what did you just say?
Teachers. I mean, there's plenty of those about.
Yeah.
The teachers, in particular, will say the thickest things you will ever hear. And they're educating the next generation.
I probably shouldn't say this, but my sister-in-law, I love her so much. She's awesome. It's really so smart. Very, very intelligent. Miles above me. The common sense level is kind of offset there, though. I'm probably doing a real disservice, and if she ever sees this, I'm terribly sorry. But yeah, she was like, certainly in the early years that I knew her, they're very much like that. And a lot of people I know who are highly educated people, like say some of the smartest people in the world, and you just go, but you're an idiot. You have no clue. It's almost like I said, I didn't go to university. My college education came later on in life. But I'm also going, but maybe that's because I got out of that full-time education earlier, that I've adopted, I've got common sense. I've got the street smarts side of things. But then when other people come out of university, they haven't had those life experiences. So you end up looking at, you have this conversation and you just go, you what? Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. Use your college education as much as you like, but what you've just said is completely stupid.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one thing that I heard quite a long time ago, and I thought was absolutely genius. Somebody. I mean, it just shows how gullible some people can be.
Mm-hmm.
But also how little common sense that they might have. And I found it quite a useful test, sort of early on, especially when it comes to dating, to find out exactly what you're dealing with. And that is to, if you just say, okay, well, obviously, I'm sure. I mean, I wear contact lenses, but and then announce that you're about to. Oh, you. What are you doing tomorrow? Well, I'm having a new windscreen fitted on the car. I'm getting a prescription windscreen, so you don't have to wear glasses whilst you're driving the car.
Right.
If they go for that, you have to start wondering. Otherwise, quite normal, quite reasonably educated, perhaps professional people, if they will take that on face value and not even question it, then you have to wonder what you're dealing with.
You know what?
I can be absent-minded, and at the best of times, but there are certain things that perhaps shouldn't slip through the net.
So I have a fortnightly informal meeting with my team at work. I might throw that one out, the prescription windscreen, and just to see who bites. And I think in my head I already know who it's going to be. That will just be like, really? How do I get that? And I just think it's going to be brilliant. It's going to be so much fun to watch, and just to watch their reaction to it. And I mean, I feel like that could even be a great April Fool's thing. Especially like Auto Glass. For those that aren't in the UK, is a business in the UK that fixes windscreens. And just to say, Auto Glass has started making prescription windscreens. Get yours now. Call this number. That could be a hilarious April Fool's.
They have in the States they have something very similar. It's not Auto Glass, but it's something. Whatever the brand name is. But you know how the advert goes: Auto Glass repair, Auto Glass repair, Auto Glass replace.
Yeah.
They have the same slogan, but it's a different brand.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I think it's a Marathon Snickers thing.
Hang on.
Yeah, so Google the tagline. Do 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 do.
Literally, all I'm getting is just Auto Glass in the UK.
Yeah,
or American Glass repair, American Glass replace. Maybe, I don't know. But everything's just coming up Auto Glass.
Right.
Which is a shame, but yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's an incognito job.
Well, I was saying maybe this is a job for VPN, but I don't want to turn on my VPN while we're in the middle of streaming, in case it kills the stream feed. So I'm not going to do that.
Streaming. If anybody is watching in the States, let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah.
Auto Glass repair, Auto Glass replace. What's your version? That's what we want to know.
Yeah.
Did you like my singing voice there, Ted?
It's beautiful. What's your favourite advert?
Oh God, I don't know. I haven't watched an advert as in like a TV, commercial break thing to fill some time because that's how the station makes money. I haven't watched one of those for a very, very long time. Because most of them now just annoy the crap out of me.
Yeah.
It bothers me. The one that really sticks in mind is Safe Style UK.
All right.
With that, was he a Geordie fellow or a Scouse fella? Would be like, I said you bar one, you get one free. I said you bar one, you get one free.
Yeah.
Safe Style UK. No, hated it. There aren't I like to think I'm pretty chill and pretty zen these days. Things like that just make my blood boil. Like, I can feel the rage building up when I see these things, and I'm just like, who are they appealing to? Because it's just annoying. And, even like the Calgon adverts, washing machines live longer with Calgon. Why? This isn't the 1980s.
But you know it though, don't you?
I do, and it's annoying.
You do, and you're aware of it, and you're aware that, oh, hang on a minute, I need something from my washing machine. In the back of your head, you're thinking Calgon.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go to the supermarket, if you see Calgon, you're like, right, okay, well, I know that's that.
Yeah. So
it does kind of work. It like silly bang.
I said the marketing for all this stuff, it works because it's stuck in my head. Bang, and the dirt is gone.
That's what she said.
Right. Washing machines along with Calgon, auto glass repair, auto glass replace. You buy one, you get one free. I said you buy one, you get one free for Safe Style UK. It works because it gets stuck in your head, but it just annoys me.
Yeah.
I hate them so much. Some adverts I used to find really funny. I can't give you an example. Right? Oh no, there was a Kit Kat advert with Jason Statham.
Right.
Many, many, many years ago, and he was talking about salmon, and he was like, right, exactly that face right there, and so the whole premise was, the salmon spends its life swimming upstream, fighting against the currents to mate with a female or lay its eggs, and then it dies. And literally just at the end, he just goes, "Remember, you are not a salmon." And then he eats a Kit Kat. That I found so funny when I was a kid. Just used to make me laugh. Remember, you are not a salmon. And I used to say that to everybody. Remember, you are not a salmon. And not even just from a slow down and take a break, kind of just like, remember. I literally look at someone and be like, "Oh, Jim, remember, you're not a salmon." And just go back to work. And he'd be like, "Huh?"
Do you remember You've Been Tangoed?
I do remember You've Been Tangoed, yeah. That created a whole set of problems in schools throughout the UK.
Yeah.
Was it happy slapping?
Yes, yeah. Happy slapping.
That was the thing.
Yeah.
But do you have a favourite advert, Ted?
I wouldn't say I've got a favourite advert. I don't. I'm not a fan of adverts. No, in fact, I found a lot of them quite depressing, especially when they try to be artistic about things, and especially at Christmas, when there seems to be this sort of arms race of Christmas adverts. Like, who's going to have the greatest Christmas advert amongst all the supermarkets? And and they're all pretty dire.
Well, it's everyone competing with John Lewis, isn't it? Because that's the thing at the moment.
Yeah.
John Lewis always come out with the Christmas advert.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I air quoted that, but they always come out with the Christmas advert, and then everyone has to kind of do their thing. And I think there was a really good one, and it was quite sad, really. The John Lewis advert was like an old man looking out at the moon or something. Turns out he was basically really old. His wife had died, there was some storyline to this thing that was actually deep down quite sad and depressing. And then I think Aldi did their version of it and made it really funny. But I can't remember what they did. It was one of those things that just kind of, it was in the news. People were talking about it, going, "Oh, you should see the Aldi version. It's really good." They've literally just taken John Lewis's and thrown it out the window and just made it funny. But actually, I've thought about what my favourite advert is.
Oh, yeah.
Just thinking about Kit Kats, because I'm getting hungry now because I'm thinking about Kit Kats. So there was a Kit Kat advert when I was growing up, which was the Thunderbirds. So remember the TV show Thunderbirds?
Yep.
Puppets, Thunderbird 1 and all that. And the whole thing, so the titles for Thunderbirds, the whole 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Thunderbirds are go, Thunderbird 1 takes off and all that stuff. The Kit Kat version was, it did the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Thunderbirds are go, but then nothing, it would be looking at Thunderbird 1 and nothing would happen. And it'd be, literally like the voiceover guys going, I said Thunderbirds I'll go, and he'd do that a few times, and then it cut to a scene in the cockpit of Thunderbird 1, and Scott Tracy's there eating a Kit Kat. Literally with the tagline, have a break, have a Kit Kat. And that was good, and that was one of my favourites when I was growing up. Because I was a massive fan of Thunderbirds.
Right. Okay. So it resonated.
Yes, absolutely.
And made you a fan of Kit Kats.
And made me a fan of Kit Kats. Peanut butter Kit Kats, man. Chef's kiss, as the kids say. Mwah.
Yes, I've had one of those. That was nice.
They are good. Peanut butter Kit Kats.
Yeah. Do I have a favourite? I don't know. It's so hard to tell. And then there's so many things that I've forgotten. So favourites I might have had and then completely forgotten. And occasionally I'll see something on social media where, when sometimes somebody will post old adverts or old TV stuff, and oh God, I completely forgot all about
classic.
that. Yeah. All that sort of reminiscing type stuff. And you get the old adverts. And I was watching one the other day, and it was this is an old advert from however long ago it was, and it doesn't seem like that long ago, and then you count it up and it's like, bloody hell, that's about 20 years or something stupid. And it was an advert for McDonald's. And what was it? One of the there were two kids, and there was the girl who was upset about something, probably about a boy or something, and her younger brother says, "Oh, you're right." She's all depressed and in a mood and everything, and won't talk to anyone. And then the father and the son go out to McDonald's and come back with their McDonald's. He goes up to her room. Oh yes, no, I missed out a bit. He goes to his piggy bank, gets a pound out or whatever it was, and then comes and puts the Happy Meal next to her and walks out. Yeah, that was quite a cute advert at the time. But yeah, now that's ages ago.
So now that's ages ago, and McDonald's wouldn't dare do an advert targeting their products to kids.
Very true.
Unless it's to do with their fruit bags.
Yes. And the family was far too family-like.
Yeah.
Yeah, far too representative of most families. So that wouldn't do whatsoever. That's the other thing about all the Christmas adverts. It's an opportunity to cram as much wokery in as possible. That's why I hate adverts, really. In
modern marketing, we call that diversity. It's not wokeism, it's diversity. And that's what's being doesn't make it any better.
No, but it's representing a diversity that actually doesn't exist as much as it is in the adverts. And it just gets a little bit it's overplayed, totally overplayed.
I'm trying to be very, very careful on
This
on
is why we
choosing
need a
my
paywall.
words.
This is why we need a paywall.
Oh my god. Please stop. Please stop. Just, we need a signal now. Time out. No, I remember a lot of those like fast food adverts when I was growing up. Burger King. And they'd all have these catchy jingles. You wanted your way at BK, you got it. And it was all about you could basically have anything you wanted at Burger King. As long as it was on the menu, you could customize it however you wanted it, and that was a really good kind of tag for them. KFC, or even when it was before it was KFC and it was actually called Kentucky Fried Chicken. They had a nice little jingle, Kentucky Fried Chicken. And then KFC did the same thing, and it was like a family sat around a table and they start singing to each other. And it was like, again, one of them was, God, we're going back nearly 20 years, maybe 15 to 20 years. And there was a KFC advert, and like they're all sat around a table eating KFC, and one of the, what I assume, kids comes onto the scene, sits down at the table, they've got this massive mohawk or something going on, and the dad just looks at him and goes, "Hey son, what is that on your head?" and they all just start singing for no reason, and that annoyed me because I hate that. You know, I don't do musicals, and I don't like movies where people just break out into song for no real reason. I don't think there's ever a reason to just start singing like that anyway. But then it kind of came into adverts as well. And people just start singing for no reason. And then, like I say, McDonald's was a trip to McDonald's makes your day, which all the kids turned around and got rid of the word day and replaced it with something a bit more derogatory. And yeah, I remember a lot of those. One of the other ones that really sticks to mind is wagon wheels. Well, they're kind of big and kind of round with fluffy mellow and biscuit to be found. It was wagon wheels. And Milky Way, red car and the blue car had a race.
Oh yes, yeah, classic
Commercial.
Yeah.
But again, the power of the messaging, it worked. Like I say, I'm 38. I remember this Milky Way advert from when I was 10 years old or however. It's incredible, the power. And maybe it's just me and the way I remember TV shows or remember pop culture better than I remember my physics lessons. It's really, and there were some good adverts out there. I'm thinking there was a fairy advert that had a bit of a song to it. And that's right, 4 hands that do dishes feel as soft as your face, mild green, fairy liquid.
I'll tell you what annoys me. There's an advert now for Fairy.
Yeah.
And the little boy comes up and he says, "Oh, I want to make a spaceship." And he wants to make a spaceship out of the bottle of Fairy liquid.
That isn't really rocket shaped anymore.
It's not rocket shaped.
No.
It's like, okay, nice idea. They could have had like a bit of a nod to a previous time, a previous advert, and I get that. But the shape of the bottle is so completely different.
Mm-hmm.
My generation look at that and think that's bollocks.
Yeah,
that's not the shape of a rocket. What are you doing?
Even I remember
and
the
rocket
rocket
younger
bottles.
Generation don't remember the original advert. So what's the point?
Right.
Stupid decision made by somebody.
I remember the rocket bottles for Fairy Liquid. I remember those. And yes, it was a thing that you wanted to make a rocket ship with the fit because, again, it was perfect marketing. Because parents would take their kids to the supermarket to do the weekly shopping. They'd come to and they'd be like, "Oh, Fairy Liquid! I want to make a rocket." And okay, so parents will then buy Fairy Liquid just so the kids can make a rocket out of it.
6 months later.
Apparently so, because Fairy Liquid is that good; it lasts forever. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I've been living in this house now for 7 months, and I still have not gone through. And I only bought a small bottle of Fairy Liquid.
Yeah,
I still haven't gone through it. But then again, that also might be.
Is that because did somebody say just eat?
Partially, partially, but also it's also a condition of the fact that I also own a dishwasher.
Right. Okay.
And I use my dishwasher once a week. So
yeah.
And everyone's probably, all the audience are like, "What? Once a week for your dishwasher?" Now, hang on, audience. I live on my own. Someone does occasionally say just eat. And I order food in, but also just because I'm on my own, it's a full-size dishwasher, and I have enough crockery and cutlery and things that I don't have to wash it all the time. I can slowly fill up the dishwasher throughout the week, put it on a Friday afternoon, and it's all done. That's it. Yeah,
but if somebody's actually paying attention, they will remember that you said that you probably only use one mug, so it doesn't get washed from one week to the next.
So my mug is the only thing that gets washed every day. So
otherwise you wouldn't need any washing up liquid at all, would you?
Precisely. And there are some things that I won't put in the dishwasher, or I will to get the worst of the stuff off. But then it comes out, and I'm still like, I just need to give that a once over with a sponge and a bit of Fairy Liquid, and it's done. It just relieves a bit of effort. But yeah, but going back to the mug situation, yeah, I use one mug. It's my favourite mug. I've had it for a number of years now, and I very much enjoy using that mug. I think it's even appeared on the Tuesday show at some point. My Tim Hortons mug, big red mug with Tim's engraved into it. It's really nice. But I do have, and I'm also at a point in my life where
Yeah.
the rest of my mugs match the rest of my crockery. So
Mm.
I have blue plates and bowls and things, and I also have blue mugs to go with them.
Mm.
Because I'm really OCD about that now. As I've gotten older, I don't want mismatching mugs. I want everything to match and look nice.
Yeah. No, I've got a very nice set of matching mugs, plates, and everything like that. Somewhere in storage.
Why? Why is it in storage, Ted? You don't have to answer that, of course. But yeah. Oh, I was really annoyed with myself the other day. So I do drink tea as well, and I don't drink tea out of my coffee mug, my favorite coffee mug. I tend to drink tea out of the blue mugs that match the rest of my crockery. And
Right.
yeah, like so I have like a cup of red bush tea in the evenings, which is quite nice to help me relax and things like that. But as I pulled one of the blue mugs out of the dishwasher, I accidentally caught it on the corner of the top of the dishwasher and took a chunk out the rim, and I was like. So I went to my local Tesco where I bought said crockery from. They don't sell them anymore. So I now have a chipped mug that lives at the back of the cupboard because I won't throw it away because I refuse to have 7 mugs. I would rather have 8 mugs and one of them be chipped and never get used than have 7 mugs in my cupboard.
Yeah. You need to be a lot more careful with your rim.
I really do. You know, those rim jobs are a nightmare. I tried shoehorning it in and it just didn't work.
I don't use a shoehorn, crikey. You chip all sorts with that.
Oh dear. I'm glad you picked up on that one. I'm glad you caught it. Good catch.
Tell me, what's in the background? Is that a poo emoji?
That is a poo emoji. And underneath, animal from the Muppets. So the animal pillow I've had for, crikey, maybe 15, 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
The poo emoji, I think I bought that. When I was out working on the road, I was like a field engineer. And I stopped in a motorway service station to use the facilities and then get something to eat because I was hungry at the same time. And I came across a poo emoji pillow for like £10. And I looked at it and went, yeah, I'll get that. And it's been with me ever since. This is, but I mean, this is, I say famed. It's really not famed, but I call it, my partner and I, we just call it the poo pillow.
Right.
Because it is, well, when I'm being a nerd or a goon, as she says on a video call, just making really crappy dad jokes, she'll just look at me and just go poo pillow, and I have to get the poo pillow and hit myself with it. It makes her and her kids laugh, so I'm okay with it.
Right. Okay.
But since I moved into this room to, be creative, I thought actually, poo pillow looks pretty good on the shelf over there.
Yeah. I have still got my my big green metal number 2.
Hello, number 2.
Number 2. So we've both got number 2 on the shelf.
Exactly. Forget Elf on a shelf. This is poo on a shelf. No, this is number 2 on a shelf.
I'll tell you something else. Talking about birds, I don't know what I feel about it because, well, slightly annoyed, but now my Netflix will be changing and I will get some ads because I was on the old plan.
Mm-hmm.
And now they've changed that. And the old plan, I had whatever I had. I don't know. They talk about standard definition, high definition. That makes no difference but half the time because I'm looking at it on a smaller screen.
On a phone, yeah.
On a phone, or even on a computer screen or something smaller. And if it's on a TV and it's some distance away, can't see the bloody thing anyway. Who cares? But the ads, they're going to introduce ads. And I thought, well, great, because I'm on the old plan. As long as that still continues, I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got a message one time that I logged in, and it said, "Oh, great news! You're going to save bloody whatever it was, 38% or 35% on your bills, because we're going to drop you down to standard because yours is being discontinued." So now I'm going to end up on this plan where I get I think I get high def or whatever it was, high definition, but with ads. I don't want ads. I'd rather have standard definition and no ads.
Mm-hmm.
And the worst thing is, I'd rather not have it. But it being Netflix, so many other people rely on my Netflix that I can't just get rid of it.
Nope.
But I'm damned if I'm going to pay more to take away the ads that I didn't ask for in the first place.
I had this exact same scenario with Amazon Prime Video. So Amazon Prime Video now includes ads. Limited ads is what they say. So now when I go to watch a show on Prime Video, I just ignore. I just go and do something else while the ads are on. I look at how it goes. Oh, the thing will start in a minute and a half. Cool. I'm going to go and make a drink and go for a pee and do something so I don't have to watch these ads because I hate ads. But then, of course, Amazon did the same. They were like, oh, your plan's going to change. Your price isn't going to change, but we're now going to give you limited ads. If you don't want limited ads, you can now pay £3 a month extra and have no ads. And I'm like, you robbing bastards.
Yeah.
You know, not only are you getting nearly £10 a month out of me for Prime, which has its benefits, I will admit to that. You know, being a millennial who has embraced online shopping, I am happy to pay £10 a month for the odd things that I buy on Amazon and the odd things that I watch on Amazon Prime Video. But to now tell me that I'm getting ads, and if I don't want ads, to pay £3 a month more is really, I just find it really horrible. I'd rather they did what Netflix do and say, what we're actually going to do is introduce a lower tier. So if you want to save money, you can, but we're going to give you limited ads. Because they're just trying to increase their revenue stream, and we get that. Yeah, we understand people want, they want to make more money, or they need to be profitable, pay rises, blah blah blah. But I was just like, I'm not going to give you £3 extra a month of my money for a service I hardly use.
Yeah.
And I got to a point where I was even thinking of cancelling my Prime subscription because I thought I can survive comfortably. By losing my free next day delivery and having something turn up in a week's time for free, or shop through Amazon, find the things that I want to buy, and then pay for Prime for 1 month and just buy everything that I need at that particular moment. Watch everything that I want to watch. Clarkson's Farm is one that comes to mind. That's one I've just finished watching. But there really isn't a lot on Prime Video that I want to watch.
Yeah.
And I find this with a lot of them. And Netflix was the same. I've cancelled my Netflix subscription because not only has Netflix changed their policy, they haven't changed the policy. They're now enforcing their policy where you shouldn't be sharing your account with anyone outside of your household.
Right.
Fine. I understand as a customer, I agreed to that when I signed up. But because now nobody else is relying on my Netflix subscription, I killed it. I got rid of it because I wasn't watching it.
How are they enforcing that though?
So now what happens?
Because if they enforce that,
they are enforcing it in the UK. They are now enforcing it. What will happen is if you sign into a device outside of your normal home, it comes up with a message on the screen to say you need to authorize this as your account or your new place of residence or whatever the message was. You then get a notification on your phone. Or I think it's a text message or an email with a code. Or if you have the app on your phone, it then goes, you need to do this. And that then registers that new address as your residence.
Yeah.
When you then go somewhere else, it doesn't let you log in. It just says, this is not your place of residence. You can't log in. If you watch it on your phone all the time, it doesn't matter because your phone goes around with you anywhere and it recognizes that you're on a mobile device. It's just when you do it on a TV or something like that, it comes up with this message. And that's because I was sharing mine with a few people. and they all were messaging me, or I was getting emails through with a code, and I'm like, I'd look at actually the location, and I'd be like, oh, I know who that is, and I'd message that person saying, are you trying to get into Netflix? And they'd say, oh, yes, I am. And I'd be like, cool, here's the code. Go, have fun, because I'm not watching it. I don't care. Then when the next day, the next person does the same thing, I'm like, okay, I've got to deal with this. Sorry, Netflix have changed the thing. I can't share it with you anymore. And that was it. So everyone's gone and got their own. And it was Netflix trying to raise more money because their pricing model was shit anyway. Pay a tenner or less or whatever it is for standard def, pay £12 or something for high def, and you then get more screens that you can use with high def. Then pay, I think I was paying like £18 a month by the time I cancelled for 4K, because I have fallen into the whole, I love 4K thing, so I was like, 4K, great.
Yeah.
But £18 a month for 4K TV, where I get, I think it was unlimited screens, but it has to be within my household. And I was like, I'm not wasting nearly £20 a month for something I'm just not using. There's one or two shows that I enjoyed watching, but again, whenever I go into these things, I'm like, I'm just watching old stuff over and over again. So I just went, nah, I said, I'm done. Cancelled Netflix, saved myself 18 quid a month. I came very close to doing it with Prime. The only reason I didn't is because they haven't done that yet. You can still share it with people outside of your house. And I have, again, a couple of people who use my Prime to watch Prime Video. So I'm like, I won't cancel that one. They can keep that. And again, it's like £8 or £9 a month.
But it might work for them then. Because if you've got, how many people were on your Netflix?
4.
So if those 4 people all thought, oh God, we've lost Netflix, let's get it.
Oh,
they've got 4 people instead of 1.
That was exactly the reason why they did it. That's why they started enforcing it, because they realized they could make more money by forcing people to get their own subscription, which I understand as a business model. I understand, but as a customer service model, it was terribly shit. And I think I'd love to see the numbers on it. I might try and go and do some research, but I'd love to understand how many people have cancelled their membership in the last 12 months because of that. Because, like I say, I was paying for it, but I wasn't using it. I watch Paramount Plus because that's where Star Trek lives. Right. I watch Apple TV Plus because I do pay for Apple One, so I get increased iCloud storage. I get Apple TV, Apple Music, because I use Apple Music all the time. If I'm driving somewhere or even just walking to the shop, I've got music in my ears. So I'm happy to pay nearly £20 a month for all of these things from Apple. And you think it was £18 a month for Netflix, and I wasn't using it because there just wasn't anything interesting on there that I really wanted to watch. I'm paying £19 a month for Apple One, which gives me 50 gigabytes of cloud storage above the standard 5, gives me unlimited Apple Music, and I listen to a lot of music, and gives me Apple TV Plus. I mean, the music alone, it was worth it. But I also get Apple TV Plus as well. And there are many good shows on Apple TV that I enjoy watching. And they're always releasing something new. And there are movies that are coming out that are exclusive to Apple TV. They're obviously paid for by Apple. So by having that, okay, if I watch it in the cinema, I'll still have to pay money. But when it comes to, when it comes out of the cinema and eventually arrives on, I can just watch it. It's great.
But does it have other stuff as well?
Apple One?
Apple what?
Or Apple TV?
Apple TV.
It's got TV shows. It's got, they're mostly Apple exclusives.
Right.
And that's they're not good with older stuff. It's mainly stuff that they've, produced themselves. But there's some really good stuff on there. There's a show on there called Ted Lasso. Okay, it ended a couple of years ago. It's got 3 seasons. But it is, even now, is still one of the top 5 trending shows on Apple TV Plus. Because it is that good. It's a great show. I love it. I actually, whilst I was off sick, as we were talking about right at the start of the show, I binge watched Ted Lasso. Great show. But there were some good movies on there, some good TV shows on there, and that to me is more worth. It's better value for money for me than Netflix ever was. So that's most of my viewing now is either Paramount Plus, Apple TV or YouTube.
Well, if they ever start importing my logins for Netflix, it'll still only be one login. They won't get any extra accounts out of it.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, I don't know where you watch. I'm assuming most of it, like you said, is on your phone. It's on a small screen or on a computer. They know that that's a computer that could be a laptop that you're just traveling with. They know what device you're logging in on. So when it comes to mobile devices, it's very difficult to enforce that. It's when you start signing in on a TV, that's when they start going,
okay,
you need to do this.
That's interesting because, okay, so if one of the devices is an Xbox, I guess that would probably not, they wouldn't really rely on that either, would they?
No, it might just register as a Windows PC, which again could be a laptop.
Right.
I think.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
But I think that's generally how it works. Is it if it's an Xbox, it may register as a Windows PC, and therefore they assume it could be a laptop. Which again, laptops go everywhere with everyone. Yeah. What was the point of my whole Netflix rant and that portion? Oh, that's right. Yeah, so it was a tactic by them to make more money because other people. But I really want to see the numbers of how many people actually cancelled their subscriptions because of that, compared to the number that actually signed up.
But also, based on what you said, how many people will it actually affect? Because so many people watch things online. Obviously, it's online, but how many people sit down with a TV that's plumbed into a wall and watch things that way, as opposed
most
to
people,
the computer or the laptop,
most
or the phone.
Most people watch it on their TV. That's the point of having the. That's why you get smart TVs with. My smart TV has Netflix, Prime. It doesn't have Apple TV, but like Pluto. All these streaming services that are mainstream exist now built into your smart TV. And so if you don't have a smart TV, it doesn't matter. But even if you have a Fire Stick, an Amazon Fire Stick, I've got a Fire TV downstairs. That's what I use for everything. Yeah. Again, Netflix knows that that's how you're watching, and it'll do its thing.
Right. Okay.
I think most people do watch that stuff on a TV.
Right.
Rather than on a handheld device, on a phone or an iPad or a laptop. It makes no sense. If you live in a house with a TV, that's where you're going to spend the majority. And that's where family time happens, and that's where you're going to be watching the TV, or that's where you're going to be streaming this stuff is on the TV in your home. A lot of people do watch things on their phones. Again, that's why mobile apps exist. When I flew to America last year, I downloaded a lot of stuff on Disney Plus. Disney Plus is another one I watch quite a lot as well. And again, they're another one that haven't done the IP limiting. That's what Netflix did. They monitor the IP address, and that's when they start triggering stuff. But on I downloaded a load of stuff on Disney Plus so I could watch it offline on a plane. That's why that existed for me at that particular moment. But yeah, I think the majority of family TV watching is done on a TV in the living room of a house. Like I say, everyone's different though. I'm not saying that is everyone. That's not a catch-all. But I believe that is the majority. The majority of people watch stuff on their TV, and it's like, again, I'm also interested in understanding the numbers around people who still subscribe to Sky or Virgin Media for their TV services. Because, I mean, I looked at Virgin Media when I moved to this house because I haven't had like cable TV for a long time. Even when I was living with Romanik, we got rid of the Sky box quite early on after I moved in because we weren't using it. We were using Netflix. We were using whatever other streaming services were available, you know, Prime Video. And as more and more streaming services have become available, I think the mainstream satellite / cable TV has steadily declined because most people are just watching it on streaming services now.
And if people are watching on streaming services, I mean, another place where they could make a saving is by scrapping their TV license. Because if all they're watching is stuff on streaming services,
there is another tax that I hate.
Indeed, another tax.
My God, the TV license is it's daylight robbery. Okay, it's £160 for the year. It's in the grand scheme of things, it's not a lot of money. But if you watch, you know, you need to have this if you watch live TV. And annoyingly, I don't watch live TV except American football. That is the only thing that I watch live, and I have a separate subscription which costs me £160 a year to watch any American football game at any time that I want, including live games.
Right, but because it's live.
But because it is live, I have to have a TV license.
Even though it's not being produced, or where does the signal come from then?
The US.
But it's live rather than streamed.
Mm-hmm. It is streamed live.
Okay, here's another question. Let's say somebody's got a TV and they just use it for streaming and YouTube.
Uh-huh.
And they watch a live YouTube stream like this. Are they watching live TV?
Yes. So now, because I looked this up because when I moved here, I was like, can I get away with not having a TV license? Because I don't want to pay for it. I don't watch BBC. I don't listen to BBC Radio. You know, all this stuff that the BBC charges for.
Yeah,
I don't use. So I want to get rid of it. I don't want to pay it. However, so in previous years, it's been if you watched live TV on a streaming service, you needed a TV license. I think, if I remember correct, when I renewed my license when I moved here, they changed that rule to even if you watch streaming services, even if it's not live TV and you use streaming services on a TV, you have to have a TV license.
Which in itself doesn't really make an awful lot of sense because does that include a laptop?
Yes.
So
anywhere you watch streaming, you need a TV license for.
So a homeless man with a laptop could be streaming a live broadcast on YouTube and be liable to have a TV license delivered to the address that he doesn't have.
I don't know how far they take that.
Yeah. What about phone?
Same thing. If you watch TV in any capacity, you need a TV license. Mobile devices are covered under the license that you have for your property, for your residence. So I can watch live TV or I can watch TV anywhere I want to be, as long as my home has a TV license. The exceptions to that are places of business, where the place of no, I can still watch it on my own personal device in a place of business, and I'm covered under my own TV license. If a place of business broadcasts any kind of TV, that business needs a TV license too. It's the rules on it are mental. It's the only way I can describe it. It's mental. Because it's just the BBC fleecing money out of people. The only way you'll get away with not paying a TV license is if you don't have a TV. And you can prove that you never watch TV or listen to the radio.
But then you don't really need you don't need a TV license for a radio.
But the TV license pays for radio services as well.
It does, but you don't have to have a TV license if you just listen to the radio.
Okay, I didn't know that, but
Yeah. Otherwise, they would just make everybody pay the TV license whenever they bought a car
yeah, right.
because you've got a radio.
Yeah, no, true, very true.
Yeah. Okay.
But TV licensing is absolutely mental, and I've got to be honest, I hate it. I hate the whole premise of the TV license. It's, I don't watch BBC because it's the BBC that you're paying. It's not the government. It's the BBC. Unless that's changed in recent years. But yeah, they're now saying that it doesn't matter if you own a TV, if you watch TV, you have to have a TV license. And it's like, it's infuriating. I'm already paying for streaming services. Now these streaming services are telling me I have to watch ads as well. Thankfully, like I say, Disney, Apple, Paramount Plus haven't gone that far yet. But you can bet your bottom dollar as soon as they do, I'm dropping them. Because I'm like, I'm not going to pay you to watch ads.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen. That's why I pay for premium on YouTube. Because I don't want to watch ads. I don't want to watch stupid adverts because they're stupid.
I would much rather pay premium on YouTube than pay for Netflix at all.
Exactly.
And I would much rather pay premium for YouTube than pay for a TV license.
Exactly.
Which is why that's the way around I do it.
Exactly. And I think the audience should jump in the chat at some point and tell us what they think of the TV license in the UK or wherever you happen to be listening from. If you got something similar, do you have to pay a TV license? Because it's mental. It's another stealth tax on the British public. It's awful. It's mental. The amount we have to pay for TV licensing.
But like you say, I mean, if you're just watching Netflix and streaming services, and with or without a TV, if you're watching something that isn't live TV, then pretty much they can sod off.
Like I say, there's ways around it, but I'm pretty sure they've extended the TV license to cover streaming services, even if it's not live TV that you are streaming. I'm pretty sure that they've extended it to cover that, and I just don't understand why. I'm not receiving any terrestrial or digital TV signal. It is all coming through the internet, which again, I pay for the internet.
Yeah, I think any attempts to try and extend it would be just a desperate attempt to remain, I don't know, remain actually a thing. Because the BBC is just a very very precarious point, because a lot of people are not using them. A lot of people are not listening to the BBC, watching the BBC, interested in what the BBC's got to say.
No,
and yet have this sort of status that sits above everybody else, where they can, pretty much get the pick of everything when it comes to media, in terms of news, in terms of access. They could be the mouthpiece of, whoever is putting pressure on them, or whoever decides what the license fee is, or whoever, has the sway there.
Mm-hmm.
And quite honestly, it's just a tax.
Just another tax on the British public.
And if they were any good, and if they had a good business model, then they would be in competition with the likes of Netflix and other services.
Yeah, well, that's it. And I get it if you watch BBC iPlayer, for example. That is the BBC's online streaming service, and again, you can binge watch shows. But again, it's whatever they want you to watch. It's just trash. I have not been a fan of British broadcasting for a long time. I don't like the shows that we produce. Some people have said there's been some shows that have kind of come and gone that people love. I think Line of Duty was one of them. Everyone raved about Line of Duty when that was around.
Yeah, that's quite good.
I never watched it because I just kind of looked at it and went, well, it's just another British cop drama. I'm really not that bothered. I've seen plenty. In my mind, nothing will ever top The Bill. I used to love The Bill, and that was ITV. That was old Channel 3, and I loved it. It was a great show. Old Reg Hollis and Tony Stamp, and they were great.
Yeah.
That show made me want to be a police officer. Not that I ever got to be a police officer, but
we're gonna pile in the cars and go down to the Jasmine Island. It's all kicked off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That was a great show. But then, everyone kind of raved about Line of Duty, and I think I watched something. I don't think it was Line of, but I remember watching another British cop drama at some point, and just went, it's a bit pants.
So I was at
Not
the
really
gym.
into it.
I was at the gym a couple of weeks ago, and I was in the spa. Londis also available. But no, I was in the spa, and so sat opposite me in the bubbles, as it were. There's a bloke that looked just like Jim Carver.
Oh yeah.
And the really weird thing, almost sat right next to him, was a guy who looked just like D.I. Burnside.
Oh, Burnside, what a legend.
I'm like, what is going on?
Burnside.
I've got half the bill in the bloody jacuzzi.
D.I. Burnside was so cool that he got his own show called Burnside. It was amazing. See, that was classic British TV. That really was. The Bill, Burnside. Oh god, there were so many. But then it all just kind of went to crap. It all went to shit.
Yeah.
And I stopped enjoying British TV. I just don't find it as interesting or entertaining as other things. Yeah.
Did you like Life on Mars?
Never watched it.
Really?
Nope. Or Ashes to Ashes. Never watched that either.
Do so.
Maybe one day. Like I say, I tend to find myself when I'm watching a TV show, it's something that I probably watched before, know that I enjoy it, or it's something new that is also part of something that I have enjoyed for many years. Like right now, it's the latest season of Star Trek.
Yeah, but
or Welcome to Wrexham on Disney Plus, or Family Guy on Disney Plus. Right, okay. Say what you want about Fox. Say what you want about Disney. But when Disney bought Fox and Family Guy appeared on Disney Plus, oh yeah. I'm very happy with that.
Mm.
And I sat there and binged watched 20 seasons of Family Guy. Very happy.
I very often I'll come late to certain things. So you mentioned Call of Duty.
Line of Duty.
Line of Duty. Yeah, that's confusing as well.
Yeah.
It's like, don't confuse me. Life's hard enough anyway without having two things that sound very similar.
People say Line of Duty. Have you seen Line of Duty? I'm like, is this like the pound shop version of Call of Duty? What are we talking about here? Yeah, anyway, carry on, sorry.
So anyway, what was it? Line of Duty.
Yeah.
So I came to that very late, like very recently, like this year.
Okay.
Watched all of it, absolutely loved it. But at the time, when things have been hyped, my gut reaction is, no, don't be daft. When things are being advertised all the time, and this goes back to our conversation about advertising.
Yeah.
When things are being talked about and advertised and pushed at you, I have a natural aversion to them.
Same. Absolutely the same.
Titanic. Still not watched it.
Don't bother.
Probably never will do.
Yeah, don't bother.
No, I won't.
I've fallen for the hype too many times that if there's something that I'm genuinely interested in, I will avoid it like the plague until it's released.
Yeah.
I won't talk to anyone about it. I won't watch trailers. I won't read anything because I don't want a single spoiler for those shows or movies or whatever. So it was Harry Potter that did it for me. So I came late to the Harry Potter party. God, that's Harry Potter party. I came very late to it, and I watched the Philosopher's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, and then Prisoner of Azkaban, I think. Watched those 3 films. And it was this long ago that they were still on VHS. I was watching these on VHS. And I was like, okay, these are really good films. Okay, I quite enjoyed them. wasn't really paying attention to the hype at that point. I was just like, okay, we've got them. I'm going to watch them. Okay, they're good. I like them.
Mm-hmm.
Then I started paying attention to the fourth film, Goblet of Fire, and again, this is like 15, 16 years ago.
Yeah.
Or however long it came out. And I started paying attention to the hype around Goblet of Fire, and everyone going, "Oh, it's a great book. It's going to be amazing. This happens, that happens." Oh, no spoilers though. And then I actually went to the cinema to watch it, and came out of it and just went, "That was a bit shit. That wasn't good at all. Did not enjoy that." And from that moment, and I actually haven't watched any Harry Potter film past the fourth one, because I'm just not interested. Because everyone hypes it. Everyone goes, "These are amazing. They only get better. The actors only get better." Blah blah blah. No, I'm not interested anymore. So when it came to things like Star Trek, so 2009, brand new Star Trek movies coming. Awesome. Love Star Trek. Star Trek is my jam. All day, every day. I live and breathe that shit. And yeah, the 2009 film gets announced. It's coming out. I am avoiding everything. I'm avoiding social media. I'm avoiding talking to any Star Trek fan that I know, and I'm avoiding every Star Trek website or reference or anything that I can think of, because I have no interest in falling for the hype again. And I go see the movie. Brilliant. Love it. I even went to watch it a second time in the cinema. I started to find the holes and went, okay, this isn't as good as I thought it was. But again, it was that first viewing, I was just like, this is amazing. And then the same for the second Star Trek movie. We'll say second, the 14th or whatever it is. 15th, sorry. Into Darkness. Somebody had sent me something, and at that point, it's too late. I've already read what the leak is. And it's quite a significant plot development, which I was just like, oh God, I hope they don't do that, because that would really be bad. Went to the film, they absolutely went and did the thing that got leaked, and I was just like, at this point, I just saw it coming, and I came out and went, it was all right. It wasn't as good as the first one, or just wasn't as good as I wanted it to be, or what it could have been. Again, too many holes. And too many fan pleasers.
Too many holes. That's probably why there was a leak.
Yeah, right. But too many fan pleasers, and I was annoyed with it. And then the third reboot, or Kelvin Timeline movie came out, and again, really excited for that, because it was due to be released for the 50th anniversary of Star Trek, of the original series, etc. I was very excited for that. Again, didn't look at any leaks or get any spoilers or anything, and I really enjoyed it. It was a good film. I didn't think it was 50th anniversary worthy, but it was a good film. And it's just things like that. And then Top Gun 2, or Top Gun Maverick. I avoided every trailer, everything, for as long as I could. Because I didn't want any spoilers. And when I did watch a trailer, because someone, again, sent it to me, disguising it as something else because they thought it was funny, really annoyed me, because I watched the trailer and actually got really excited for the film. And then I went to see the film, and I looked at certain portions of it and went, okay, you've done this just to put that in the trailer. That is the only and have you seen Top Gun Maverick?
Yep.
Okay, so audience, if you're watching, listening, and you have no interest in spoilers because you haven't seen it yet, but you are going to watch it, just plug your ears for a few minutes. So Iceman dies. And there's a whole funeral, and there's the flyby with the missing man thing that goes on. The second Top Gun movie.
I don't remember that bit.
Okay. Iceman dies.
Really?
Spoiler alert.
Well, hang on. Isn't he some sort of admiral or something?
Yeah. He's an admiral when he's ill. He can't talk, which is actually a real life thing for Val Kilmer. He can't talk properly.
Right.
But they played that in the movie, and they made that a plot device in the movie where Admiral Iceman dies, and Maverick goes to his funeral. There's a flyby, and they do the whole missing man thing where one of the aircraft peels off and disappears somewhere else. That was only there so they could put the flyby in the trailer for that movie. It served no purpose in the film apart from that. And it annoyed the shit out of me. I was so annoyed because I'm like, you didn't have to kill off Val Kilmer.
Right.
You didn't have to kill off that character. Okay, in the first movie, he was a douche. And we get that. In the second movie, there is a character who is just like him, who is also a complete douche. And we get that. But you didn't have to kill off that character. There was no need for it. And like I say, it was only there. So in the trailer, you see the funeral scene, you get the fly past the missing man. Everyone goes, oh my God, someone dies. I must go watch this film because I need to know who dies. Because again, we're all thinking, oh, it's going to be another Goose type scenario where there's a tragic act. Because I think they put that in the trailer as well, where someone passes out and their aircraft is spinning down like towards the ground and that kind of thing. Again, that only exists for the trailer.
I don't, is there anything else in the trailer that indicates that there's a funeral?
No.
I think that sounds like something that's so obscure that I can't understand why they would. It's not quite in your face enough, really. If you're suggesting that they put that in the trailer so that people think, oh, and who's died?
Mm-hmm.
I somehow doubt that would make people think that somebody's died.
Well, it's a funeral, so someone has to die for there to be a funeral.
No, but it's not a funeral, is it? It's a plane flying.
No, you actually see casket. Maverick puts a thing, and he just.
Oh, right, okay. Because I said
they are at a funeral. Yeah. They are actually at a funeral. Yeah, and in the trailer, you see them. They are actually at a funeral.
Right. Okay.
And yeah, like I say, when you actually then go and watch the film, the only reason that bit,
is to make you think, oh, somebody dies in it.
Yeah, someone dies in this movie. We now need to go and watch it to find out who. There's that. It's marketing tools. It's figuring. It's getting people in the door because they want to know what's happened. But then it turns out the only reason that scene, or the reason for that is because a character from the first film who doesn't have a massive role in the second film has died through illness or whatever. It's not a tragic accident. It's not something like that. Not that we wanted a complete rerun of the first Top Gun film, but when they've done that, just to be able to put a funeral scene in the trailer, it just annoyed me. It really just annoyed the absolute crap out of me. But maybe that's me being over analytical of movies
nowadays. I was just about to say, is it possible that you overthink things?
Yeah, I've noted this in recent years that I actually kind of overanalyze a lot of things like that.
Overall, though, did you like that film?
Good film, yeah. It's a good film. I again, I'm finding it really hard to be objective about movies and TV shows, films, and TV shows nowadays. I do just tend to overanalyze. It's almost like I'm going out of my way to find faults with it. Which is not a good place to be when you're trying to be entertained. It makes the job of people trying to entertain me even harder. Not that they're doing it just for me. But yeah, I find myself overanalyzing everything. But like I say, Star Trek, I live and breathe Star Trek, but I'm doing it with Star Trek now as well. Yeah. I'm watching it just going, oh, you're doing this again. Oh, it's just a bit naff. You've done this already. Move on. Move past it.
Yeah.
But
I suppose. Yeah. The problem is once you see something, it niggles, doesn't it?
Yeah. You can't unsee it.
Well, I watched on, I don't know if it was Netflix, The Gentleman.
I think that was a Netflix one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't watch that.
Okay. So first scene, literally first scene. First part of the first scene, the main character is in army uniform.
Mm-hmm.
His cap badge is wrong, and that threw me. And it took a lot for me to actually stick with it,
Uh-huh.
even though the opening scene there was something glaringly
It's wrong.
that it could have been dealt with so easily. In fact, it wouldn't even be difficult. Well, relatively, it wasn't an expensive scene either. They could have reshot it, even if it was just for me. They could have reshot it. Why didn't they not? They have people. There are people whose job is to, they get a credit and they turn up and they say, no, this is how it looks and this is how it's done and so on and so forth. Why was that not done with something so glaringly obvious? Anyway, yes, it's quite easy to do that. It's quite easy to overanalyze things. Harder, I would have thought, when it comes to something like Star Trek, which is going to be, as fictional as you can possibly be. But that's beside the point. Not going to get into that argument. But going back to these things being hyped, Breaking Bad was another one. I came to that very late, and I watched the whole thing, and I liked it. But I wouldn't have. But I wouldn't have watched it at the time.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have watched it when it's got its hype, because I'm just averse to that.
Yeah, no, I agree. Lost was the same for me. That was a big one that got hyped, and I was like, yeah, good.
Really? Did you watch it afterwards?
No, I think I watched an episode at some point and went... And I know what the problem with that was. It was halfway through a season, halfway through the series, and I had no idea what was happening, and I just went, I have no idea what's going on. This is a bit crap.
Another one, The Office US.
Not really. I struggle with those kind of shows.
I liked it. In fact, I liked it a lot, but I thought I wouldn't.
Okay.
I didn't watch it for ages and ages, and then I tried it and I liked it. But again, once things are done and dusted, then I might look at it. I might like it or might not like it, but I keep away from the hype.
I keep away from the hype, and I try not to watch anything that gets recommended to me.
Yeah.
When people go, oh, you should go and watch this, I just immediately don't want to watch it. Because the thing is, everyone's taste is different, and I know I can be really bad for it sometimes, saying, oh, you should really go and watch this particular show.
Yeah.
But everyone's different. And I think it stems from, when I was younger, a family member would always recommend watching a show. Less recommend watching a show and more throwing out quotes from a show that I hadn't seen. And Family Guy was one of them. So Family Guy, actually, I came really late into Family Guy because of a family member who would constantly throw out Family Guy lines and expect me to laugh. And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And then he'd try and explain it. And I'm like, okay, you're talking about a show that I've never seen. Which then made me go, I now don't want to go and watch it because I feel like you've just ruined it. No offense to this person, but I just felt, no, you just ruined it for me, and I don't think I'm going to enjoy it. So I came really late into Family Guy. I came to Family Guy probably a couple of years after the first Blue Harvest movie, which was their Star Wars thing, the Star Wars parody. And I watched it. Again, I'm a fan of Star Wars. So I'm like, okay, I'll watch a parody of Star Wars. That's fine. Started watching it, and I just went, I don't really understand what's going on. I don't understand the humor here. And it took a little while to then bring myself to watch Star Wars, to watch the rest of Family Guy. It's kind of everything leading up to that point, so I could understand the lore of Family Guy. But then doing that, I then started to enjoy it, because it was because of the Star Wars parody that I started watching. But it was that, like I say, the hype, anything that anyone recommends to me, I'm just like, I just don't want to, because you're telling me that I should. Like one of my other buddies recommended. Oh no, he didn't recommend it. Sorry, we were talking about a show on Disney Plus called Shogun. It's a historical drama of ancient Japan, and British pirate merchant who basically gets marooned in Japan. Something. Apparently, it is a remake. I was talking to somebody else, and they said, "Oh yeah, that already exists as another thing." Oh, okay. Anyway, we were talking about it, and he started trying to tell me about it and like tell me about the book and all this stuff. And I'm just like, I just went, "Please stop." I was like, "'Cause I'm actually interested in this show, and I quite enjoy historical drama." I was like, "Please just stop talking about it." Because I just want to go watch it for myself and judge it for myself. I don't want to go in with I guess it's that I don't want to go into something with a tainted view, or with someone else's opinion in my mind about that show.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I did watch Shogun and I very much enjoyed it. I did enjoy it quite a lot. I'm looking forward to if there is a sequel to that series. But yeah, there's a few things like that. I started watching Ted Lasso on Apple TV long before anyone started recommending it to me or talking to me about it. So again, I was able to go in with a kind of a clear view on what it was. Apart from my only view on Ted Lasso was I hate football, and this is a TV show about football, but it actually isn't. It's a character comedy.
Right.
Less about the football and more about the characters, and I was actually happy with that. And it was, like I say, good show for me.
I take it then it's a British show, then, is it?
No, it's based in England, but the lead character is American. It's about an American football coach who is hired by a UK football team to coach the football team.
Right. Yeah, I feel like that's got nothing for me.
Exactly, and that's it. I've just been talking about it. You've listened, and you're just like, yeah, it's probably not for me. Rather than having the opportunity to kind of discover it for yourself, which is what I don't like recommending things to people.
Yeah,
and I try not to. It's like Star Wars stuff. I can't talk to certain people about Star Wars, like the new Star Wars TV shows, Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka.
I'll just glaze it. I'll be glaze over, and
that's fine.
I'll be dead inside.
Yeah.
By the time you finished.
Yeah, but all these newer Star Wars TV shows that have come out, some of which are really, really good in my opinion, but I can't talk to some people about it because they are so invested in Star Wars and so invested in the lore. I don't want to talk to them because I'm getting their version of how good it is, rather than being allowed to go and watch it for myself. I am a Star Wars fan.
Yeah,
I will happily go and watch these things, but please don't give me your opinion.
Yeah,
like I say, I try not to do it with Star Trek. I just say I really like Star Trek. I love the new series and that's as far as it goes. I'm not going to talk about them. Say that I like them. They are for me.
I'll generally not recommend things on the basis that if I mean, it depends on the people, really. I suppose. There was something earlier, and I've forgotten what it was, and I said, "Watch it."
Breaking Bad.
Was it? No, it wasn't.
Line of Duty.
Was it? No, it wasn't that. Oh, we'll never know.
Oh, Life on Mars. Sorry, that was it.
Yes, that was it. Yeah, I'd say watch that. But then I'm not basing that on the fact that I liked it, you'll like it. I'm basing that on the fact that knowing what you're like, what you are like, you will like it.
Yeah.
On that alone.
I think you're right, and I have heard people talk about Life on Mars, and a similar show called Ashes to Ashes. And people have said it's, they've told me, and I think I probably would enjoy it. But now I feel like I'm too late. There are other things that interest me. Am I going to get around to it? I don't know. Unless I win the lottery and can quit my job, it's unlikely.
It's not an ongoing thing. Hey, I went to the what's it called? What was that thing that went on for ages? And it was about a stately home and
Downton Abbey.
I saw the film. I quite like the film, actually. I don't remember anything about it, but that's just my head. But I remember I liked the film.
Yep.
I've never watched a single episode of it. And one of the reasons why I have never watched a single episode of it and never will watch a single episode of it is because there is too much of it. Whereas I could turn to anyone and happily recommend that they watch Faulty Towers on the basis that they are investing 6 hours.
So it's 6 hours of your life to watch Faulty Towers.
That's it.
No, I agree. Because there was a show that came out, and everyone was like, "Oh, you've got to watch this show," and I'm like, "Okay, order on it," and they go, "Oh, but there's already 3 seasons of it." I'm like, "Nope." I'm like, I don't want to invest that amount of time just because you're telling me I should.
Yeah.
I can't even remember what it was.
I think lockdown had an effect because I was definitely going to be watching something. So something needs to be watched.
Yeah.
So it gave me the opportunity to try a few things. Quite honestly, if it doesn't catch me in the first episode, or if it slightly does, I give it 2. Then it's gone. But there were quite a few things that I watched and completely ran with and binged the entire show.
Yeah. I give shows 3 episodes in general, and I think a lot of people stick with that kind of rule of, for a TV show, bingeable or not, you get 3 episodes to hook somebody in. The first episode you kind of go, all right, we're introducing the characters, we're introducing the premise and the plot and all this stuff. The second episode, we're building on it a bit more. It may not be as good, there may not be as much action. The third episode, if you're still dragging your heels and making me pay attention for 40 minutes, I'm out. I can't do it. I don't want to give a show that much work. And I found shows like Lost, people would say that to me a lot. They'd be like, it's slow, it's a slow burn, it's hard work. I even found it with Star Trek Picard. Like I say, I'm going back to Star Trek. I'm a massive Star Trek fan. We all know it. I started watching Star Trek Picard after having been treated to this fast-paced, high-octane world of Star Trek that is Star Trek Discovery and the new films that had come out, and even Lower Decks to a degree. And now Star Trek Picard has come out. The pace has just been brought right down. They're literally slow timing it through a season. And I really struggled with it. But I stuck with it because it's Star Trek.
What's different about it, though?
It's
surely Star Trek is Star Trek.
No, it's the style of the show. Star Trek Picard is kind of stylized the same as The Next Generation. It's a very slow, methodical, thought-driven show or thought-provoking show, whereas Star Trek Discovery, Star Trek Strange New Worlds, all these modern shows kind of, everything that's appeared in the last 10 years of Star Trek has been much more fast-paced, action-driven, less thought provocation, more we want to know who the bad guy is and how we're going to kick their ass. And that's what's driven the shows and movies in the last, nearly 20 years, 15 years. From Star Trek 2009, that movie, everything post that has all just been fast-paced action, massive visual effects, all this good stuff that people love in a modern movie and TV show. Then Star Trek Picard comes along and wants to kind of relive and recapture the essence of Star Trek The Next Generation from the 1980s and early 90s, which is much more very slow. Lots of points where you go, oh, great, there's going to be a massive space battle scene that we all love. Nope, doesn't appear. And you're like, okay. And it's like I say, it's more thought-driven than action-driven. And some people like that. And like I say, I liked it in the end. I actually kind of, after watching the season week to week, I then went back and just watched the whole thing start to finish and went, actually, I enjoyed that more because I could just watch it all and I don't have to remember what happened a week ago. I can just watch it all in one go. And that is a condition of the modern binge age, and like you say, lockdown has done that for us, very well. In that a lot of shows now are kind of like everything gets released at once for a lot of shows, and you can just binge it straight away and just watch the whole thing.
One of my most common complaints about certain series, series, is when I watch something and it's like a 6-parter or something, and each episode is about an hour, and I come to the end of it and I think that could have just been a film.
Yeah, you could have condensed that down into 2 hours. Yeah, 2.5 hours and made that a movie.
Yeah, I do find that annoying. They could have just pushed a bit more into making it and made it into a film.
Yep.
Rather than dragging it out.
Yeah, I agree.
Talking of dragging things out,
we've dragged out this show very well.
We have.
Not bad for a pilot episode.
not bad.
Sorry, live stream. It's not an episode. This is a live stream. Everyone.
That's right. Yes, that's it. A pilot live stream, and we talked about pilots because we talked about Top Gun.
We did, yeah.
And I suppose the people in Star Trek are somehow pilots because they fly around in space.
Yeah, they have pilots.
Really yeah. And this is, in fact, the next generation of for the Tuesday show.
So tenuous. I love it.
Yeah. Well, it'd be interesting to know, if we ever get to know, if anybody actually watched our inaugural, big word.
I feel that's too big for us.
Yeah.
Our first ever live stream.
First ever live stream on YouTube. Yeah, I've forgotten where I was going with that.
I feel like we're wrapping. We're slowly drawing a conclusion to the whole thing.
We are wrapping. West Philadelphia, born and raised.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you enjoyed this, get in touch. If you didn't, get in touch and tell us why. Tell us what you'd like to hear us banging on about, and so on and so forth. Anyway, you can DM me at Ted James Media. You can even attempt to DM CJ at CJ Brooks FM.
FM.
That was deep, wasn't it?
FM.
It's
profound.
Imagine getting that kind of a FM at 1:39 at night. Oh yes, and we've also got. You can also email us at
cjandted@thetuesdayshow.co.uk.
Fantastic. That only leaves us to say, for now, until next week, goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe too. That'll be amazing.
Bye.
The whole thing didn't change. There we go. Now it's changed. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. Bye. Let's wave like we're on a game show. Bye.